What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night. I am one of your two hosts, CM Chuck. Across from me, my pod partner, as always, Double A, Adamantium Adam.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And in the back, for her second time this season, actually, it was pretty quick, right? We just in our Tim Burton episode with Untamable Amy joins us again for tonight's episode.
What's up, y'all?
So, yeah, what's up, sis? You doing all right?
I'm a little stuffy because of my allergies, but
That'll make for an interesting sounding
if you
podcast.
live here, you already know.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you all for joining us, Friday Nighters. We appreciate getting back into the swing of things. I mean, I know last week we were kind of getting back in the swing of things, but here we are. So Kira in the house says, that's my best friend. I didn't know I was your best friend, Kira. Appreciate
Not
that.
you.
Thank you. And a Facebook user says, hey guys, I think that might be Steve, maybe. Steve says, cheers, Steve.
Cheers.
Steve, we appreciate you being here, brother. What are you drinking on tonight? Let us know.
Still drinking scotch. I think he's been on the scotch binge.
I'm going to be drinking butterbeer all night tonight in my mind. Double A, Adrenalize me, some pop culture news this week, especially today. Some extremely sad pop culture news.
Yeah, superstar artist Neil Adams passed away, man, at the age of 80. It's kind of sudden for us that, we didn't know. We already heard about George Perez. Mm-hmm. That's going to be, tragically passing.
Yeah.
And now Neil Adams, that's like two superstars, like huge names.
And he was, for those of us that are not that versed in...
He was the artist pretty much for, like, Batman, reinventing Batman again, making him darker again. Superman versus Spider-Man, the first big crossover. He was part of that.
You look over your shoulder right there, Amy, that picture right there with Ra's al Ghul with the Batman costume. Very famous picture by Neil Adams.
Co-creator of Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
That's a good cover.
We have the distinction of having both met him, right? You and I have met him. I met him in Houston at Comic Palooza.
Here, met him here. You met the first Alamo City Comic Con.
But let me tell you my favorite Neil Adams, sis, since you're not that versed with him, is that the creators of Superman, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, were for a long time, they were not given any credit. Is that correct, Double A?
Yeah,
for his creation.
Yeah.
DC owned Superman outright, and there was nothing or whatever. And we'll go ahead, Double A. I think you tell it better.
Yeah, it's a really good episode by Robert Kirkman. They tried suing DC twice because they were making millions because Superman just like lit up.
Right.
And they were not getting any part of the royalties, nothing. They weren't even getting credited as being the creators of Superman. Neil Adams heard about this and he was like, you know what, this is bullshit. And he worked for DC. And he started a long campaign, which eventually got their names put back on the title, put on the movie. For every time Superman would come up,
right,
it's credited to those two. And they got a pension for the rest of their lives because at one point they were both like almost poor and bankrupt while they were making billions off of Superman.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So he is like integral in getting their names in the front of every comic book that says Superman created by Jerry Siegel and Joseph.
Just creator rights, period.
And even it's a really great episode. Sis, of the what is it called? The show, the
Secret History of Comics.
Secret History of Comics. I think it's on Amazon Prime. And Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead, hosts. And that's a really fantastic episode. I think it might be the first one you got me to watch. And I loved it.
Yes,
I really love. I mean, that made me alone a Neil Adams fan. And he would come on. He was going live so much, right? Double A, selling his art, selling books, doing these auctions. Whatever.
He was.
His family
pretty active.
His family would put it on for him, but he'd be the one there. He'd be drawing. He'd be talking, and he'd give away little candies in the boxes too. And he'd always come out with his blue shirt, his blue Superman tie, which was very, very cool. Steve says he's slumming it with margaritas. Anthony, I'm going to read that. That's a great comment when I get to the part about what we're talking about tonight. But while you're here, if you're still here, Anthony from New York joining us. Yeah. Anthony, tell us about your feelings and thoughts about Neil Adams and his work and his impact on you, if you have an opportunity to, because I really like to hear what you have to say as a huge comic book fan and a huge Batman fan, rightfully so. Cinco de Mayo right around the corner.
It is actually.
But I think that's also Steve reminding us a good reason to drink margaritas, which you don't need one. But guys, let's have a quick toast to Neil Adams, and then let's do a moment of silence for him. Neil, you're a great artist, sir. I had the honor of meeting you. You signed my Superman 1000. Action Comics 1000, and I greatly appreciate it. Here's to you, Neil. And thank you so much for those of us that joined in a quick moment of silence for, again, great legendary comic book writer and artist, right? Double A?
Yeah.
Neil Adams, again, Double A got to meet him here. What did you get signed?
It was a trade paperback of like the best Ra's al Ghul stories. It's him and Danny O'Neill.
Yeah.
On it, so that's like super great for me.
It's a great team right there.
Yeah.
Danny O'Neill and Neil Adams. I mean, like kind of
And
mainstays
then
in
I
DC.
bought that piece because it was
I
just an awesome piece.
I love it, and I love the story of that piece. Tell Amy the story of that piece.
Okay, so he told me, he goes, look at the picture and can you tell me if there's anything wrong with it, right? Just like, do you see something
Kara
that's
says,
like
cheers.
really off? He goes, there's something that's like really off. It's really
And
goofy.
Resquiet in peace. Amen.
That's Jerry.
Jerry D, of course. Jerry, thank you so much for
He
that.
goes, because DC wouldn't let him do it.
What is it?
It's a pants. You see how Ra's al Ghul is holding the whole outfit, but Batman is still wearing pants.
Yeah, you miss it if you're not looking.
Yeah,
for
and
it.
I was the same way too. I was like, I don't
Now,
see
what
nothing.
issue of Batman is that, Double?
It's like
it says it up there.
244.
For those of us that's listening to us on audio, the legendary cover of Batman issue 244 by Neil Adams.
And I think that episode was actually played out in the animated series.
Yeah,
where they're in the desert.
Raj is holding the full Batman costume in his hand, and Batman is
They had a
bent
huge.
over backwards.
He said
cowl
DC
on.
had a huge issue with Batman not wearing anything.
Can you imagine having maybe he did an original drawing and
Probably,
the pants? I mean, it's a much more dramatic image if he doesn't have the pants on. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, fuck, he's literally stripped down naked.
Yeah, but he was like, so I just put
Um,
that just to screw with them. You know?
Yeah, so very cool. Let's see who else here. Jerry says, "What a loss! This one was a legit bummer." Definitely agree with you there, Jerry. Batman without the shirt is still funny to me. Not sure if that you, Jerry, or if that's you, Anthony. Oh, and there goes Anthony. Then Jerry says it was on the animated series. That's Jerry, and then we see Anthony here. Double E, you want to get Anthony's thoughts?
Yeah,
out
he goes,
there?
Neil Adams is instrumental to Batman mythos. He saved the character after the 60s show, ingrained the campiness of the character into the minds of the audience. For a while, when the Adam West show was super hot, they made it like that in the comics.
Okay, yeah.
And so he kind of brought it back. He's a legend. I was heartbroken to learn of his passing today, and the world lost a legend. But as Liam Neeson says in Batman Begins, legends endure, and Adam's legacy will endure long after we're gone. May he rest in peace. We're blessed to have had him as long as we did. They also did it on
Beautiful
Arrow,
words,
but
Anthony.
Oliver Queen in place of bats.
Oh,
okay.
interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful words from Anthony and from Jerry regarding.
That's like I say, it just
Adams.
sucks because he's dead, and now George Perez is not going to make it probably this year.
I mean,
and those are two of the big guns.
When you think the 80s, those names come up in comic books. I mean, like some of the most iconic, beautiful comic book art you've probably seen since is by these two legendary
He did X-Men,
artists.
he did Fantastic Four, he did Avengers, he did Batman.
It makes me think, I mean, I not to put this kind of twist in it, but I do feel blessed and honored that we both got to meet him because, like we've always told the story about Roddy Piper, we were literally like that was our plan, and then the next week it was like
he passed away.
And like I look at my pictures I have with China. It's
I know,
like,
same here. It's kind of freaky, because we met her just then.
Yeah.
She looked good, and then it was like not too long after that.
And again, we get these pictures and autographs for our fandom. These are not things that me and Double A put online and resell. I mean, this is something that I'll pass on to my nephew, and Double A I'm sure will pass on to his kids, and let them do what they want with
all this is for me. This is all for me.
Are celebrating our own fandom.
I think all that money and the waiting in the lines would be
Yeah.
for you too. Just
absolutely.
to sell it. I mean,
Yeah, but there is people we've seen it.
I know,
We've seen it.
but-
It's like stacks.
I don't think I could do that either. I would be definitely a collector also.
Adams put the dark back in Dark Knight. Love that. I think that's Jerry. Roxy in the house. Roxy says, "Hey guys." She also says, "It's Roxanne." Roxanne, I can see your name.
Yeah, we can actually see it
right now.
we
So
can.
you're probably watching us through the page, which is great as we continue to learn these ins and outs of where you're watching from. What's that one next there? Double A.
Facebook user. I'm not. Maybe it's Jerry. The great's leaving us, but time does that, I guess. At least we can cherish the work. And then Jason in the house, he said, "What's up?"
What is up, Jason? Thanks for checking on us earlier. Me and Jess had a little car trouble right outside of work, so but we're good. Everything was fine. Just needed a jump. But at the time, he was asking me what time the show was, and I was like, I don't even know right now. But then luckily, everything got worked out, and we're good. Thank you to that stranger who helped us from the construction site with his jumper cables and everything.
Shit.
And if you don't know my girlfriend's weird vehicle, the battery is actually underneath the back seat.
Mine's in a weird place too.
Yeah,
in my car.
But you can jump it still from under the hood because it has like a ground there and like
I didn't know
a
that.
positive.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, so luckily you can still jump it from the front. It's designed that way, but it's a very weird.
That's really
or whatever,
weird.
So there's that. Oddly enough. What else? Chuck, you're leaving your sis out. Regarding what am I leaving her out regarding? I don't know.
Right now, I'm just listening in, guys, because I'm not really well versed in the comic
regarding
book.
Neil Adams passing.
Just trying to be fair, bro.
Totally. Well, we'll do. I believe she's going to have plenty to say on our topic tonight, which we're going to get to.
Thank
quickly.
you, Facebook user.
What's the next thing?
The Doctor Strange trailer dropped. Another one, but I'm not going to see it because everyone keeps saying that it's
very revealing.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
There was a new one, a second one.
Yeah.
It was like a TV spot, right? So it's like one of these 30-second.
Somebody put it in our face in our group, the Friday Night Faithful.
Yeah, Jerry specifically said don't watch it.
Yeah, and I was like,
spoilery.
okay. I was like, okay, so I'm not going to watch it.
Well, then I was like scrolling if you're scrolling like on Twitter or Instagram, sometimes they would just start playing. So like I got to hear like Baron Mordo saying like 2 or 3 lines. And I was like, shit! Like I already heard it, and I was like, fuck. Well, that was kind of a lot.
I know it's like it's only like 6 days away or 7 at this point.
I'm like, I mean, you don't need to entice us anymore. Like we're fucking going,
Yeah.
So my tickets are bought for Thursday. Untamable Amy and I will be there.
Yeah, my wife and daughter can't wait. They're huge. They became huge Wanda fans.
I know.
WandaVision.
She's gonna have a great role.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited for her.
So they're more excited about her being on there.
Well, I mean, I love Doctor Strange.
We do too, but I mean, they're like way more into Wanda.
So they watch the show. They watch WandaVision.
It was funny. It was funny because like I saw it by myself, and then they started like peeking. Yeah. And I kind of told them what was going on, and they started watching it with me.
Yeah, well, CM watched it first, and he kept telling me to watch it, and then I finally started watching it, and then I paused. I'm a big pauser with shows, and then I finished it. So I did really like it a lot, though. I love Wanda.
I do want to know it says who it is. That's saying bro a lot, which is funny because I just heard Anthony and the Tis the Podcast guys do their episode on Hawkeye. Really, really great episode. They did on Hawkeye. Jerry guessed it, so of course it's amazing. Then I think this is Jerry. Jerry says Jazz for the Harry Potter ep. Buried the lead, buried obviously. Gonna have to bail starting bedtime routine with the kids, but I can't wait to hear it.
Rowling real.
Yeah, Jerry, I hopefully you get to join us if we're still going when the kids are sleeping. So come on back if you can. If not, want to hear your thoughts about it after the episode. Roxy says, I haven't seen any of the trailers. Roxy's very good about avoiding trailers because she likes to see it with
these
fresh
trailers
eyes.
are terrible
I know.
nowadays.
Yeah.
They show you everything.
Lucky the Dork Dad had a lot to say about the Batman movie when he was like, man, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of the movie. And now looking back, he kind of did see a lot of the action in the trailer because they didn't show that the start of that movie because it's kind of slow,
Speaking of the Batman, Kara finally watched it. So
did she have an opinion?
We talked about it, yeah. Okay. And I told her that she should get with you to talk about
Kara,
it.
if you're still joining us, we'd love to hear your thoughts on the Batman movie, the Robert Pattinson version. She's a huge Twilight fan, so a huge Pattinson fan.
Is it Batman or Vengeance?
I don't know. I like when he's called Vengeance.
I took all that today.
I love that.
I am the night. And I was like, I am Vengeance. And he's like, you're
Jerry,
dumb, Mom.
Jerry,
he didn't say that, but he was giving that look like, okay, get out of here, lady.
Jerry comes back with, sorry, Rowling really created a world, not quite Tolkien's world building, but still super
and
fun.
That's kind of something I wanted to throw at too, because that's really interesting. Because honestly, I think they're about equal. Because when they're going head to head, for a while people were saying Lord of the Rings, remember, was the best new trilogy ever.
I really like Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits, but I think that I'm more of a Harry Potter fan. But I'll watch.
I might get
chastised. Here's a trailer for here.
Yeah,
I'll watch the Lord of the Rings like on any day. Like it's probably something CM would get mad at me about watching over again.
I mean, to me,
did you ever watch the Hobbits?
No, I never. That's what I was going to say. I'm going to probably get.
I've seen them all, by the way. I'm going to get.
Tarred and feathered for not having seen the Hobbits because I had to read that book in the 4th grade, the first Hobbit book, and it was a freaking nightmare.
It's boring.
It was like I was like, oh my gosh! I mean, I used to love like reading as a kid too, and I was just like, and then it's like that type of story. Right?
No,
like
I did too because like I was like super excited about reading Scarlet Letter, right? Mm-hmm. That fucking book was boring.
I think I might have liked the Hobbit movies better than the Lord of the Ring ones.
Man.
Wow,
I fell asleep.
But it's because
yeah.
well, that's for another episode.
Yeah, and not only that,
Hey,
too,
no, don't make me watch those.
yeah, another book that's kind of boring to me.
Yeah, it's like,
Jerry will
no.
Jerry will probably kill me for this, but it's like, yeah, Dracula's kind of boring at the start.
You know, I
It's a
thought
lot of
Frankenstein
letters.
was boring.
You know what? I started to listen to that one on audiobook, and I was kind of getting sleepy.
Wait,
I
you're
thought it was
talking about
boring.
the books? You're talking about the
The
books?
books.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought
haven't read the books.
I was
so
super excited to read that one. The only one I liked that I was forced to read, I guess, by school was Beowulf.
Uh-huh.
That one I
had to
actually
read
did
that
like.
too. And the Chaucer
Is it like the
tales, the
movie?
Canterbury tales.
You know, there's always parts of the movies they always leave out that
Okay.
like they never put on the
But
third
it was.
scene.
Did you like the movie or no?
No,
No,
because
not-
they always leave out like the third scene, or there's always like a
Okay.
scene they leave out.
Okay.
You know, so
So let's see who else here. Someone says, really want to know what your sister thinks.
Yeah.
I think that's Jerry. That's a
thanks,
WandaVision
bud. It
was
was
amazing.
fun talking Hawkeye. WandaVision was amazing. Jason says, anything going on this weekend? I'm glad you asked, Jason. Rick's Crips Comics they're having another show at the Shrine Auditorium, and he did say he and Mario were going to be set up.
Very nice.
So
Rick's Comic
there's
Crypt and Mario
it's a
Delgado.
comic. It's one of those comic sports cards shows.
I think our dad said that he was going to try to go.
I was going to go Sunday. I'm going to go Sunday.
You know, if Mario's out there, he's going to be bringing the heat with the comics, and Rick's right there next to neck.
And
with
you know,
him, one of the
Mario's
great
not really
books.
like on social media anymore. So
Yeah.
this was on Rick's, where somebody had asked me, he's like, about treasury editions, and he was like, I'm probably not, but Mario's going to be set up
Very
across from
cool.
me. So he was
Very
like, so
cool.
Mario will be there.
So there you go, Shrine Auditorium. Jason, try to get out there.
It's going to happen Saturday and Sunday.
Go give a big hi, hello, how are you to Mr. Mario Delgado, who we would love to see ourselves.
Yeah, before he leaves.
Let me
He's
know
leaving.
if
He
you
should
go
be
on
I
leaving
thought you
Sunday.
already
soon.
left.
I thought so too, but no, I am going to go Sunday for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The other thing is, that would be the big thing I think this weekend that's going on. I mean, that I know of.
Nothing this weekend. There's
Traders.
like a lot of events happening next month.
Yeah.
That seems to be popping up. So
We do know that coming soon, though, May 9th, Rob Liefeld, superstar comic book writer and artist,
Yeah.
creator of Deadpool,
Oh, it's
Yeah.
on Mother's Day?
will be signing autographs
he's
at the
doing
Dragon's Lair comic book
he's
store.
doing a Texas tour because his son is graduating. His son goes here
No kidding.
from college.
I
Yeah.
had no idea. What school do you know?
No, I don't know. I just know
Huh.
every time on his podcast he shows that his son goes here to college in
Very
Texas.
cool. I
So
did not know that.
so I'm guessing he was just like, oh, okay, cool. I'll do like a little Texas tour.
Yeah.
So he's setting up like Dallas, Houston, us, and I forgot the other place.
Okay, cool. And we'll be going,
yeah.
Double A and I will be going to meet
It's
Rob.
gonna be Monday though, so I'm like, man,
That's
gonna kinda
if your
fucking
schedule
suck.
works.
and it's
works
from
out.
4 to 6.
Call in.
Yeah.
Call in.
Yeah.
Right.
Call in.
I'm leaving work earlier. I've made arrangements to leave work early that day already too. So I want to take, of course, your son, my nephew, to meet him as well because he'd be meeting
That's
a
right, you were telling me
legendary
about it.
creator.
Right.
The guy that created, Deadpool.
Deadpool,
So. Let's see what else. Comments wise, here we got.
Roxanne says, I rewatched the Batman today. I loved it much better a second time around.
Okay.
Plus, I got bathroom breaks.
That helps.
There's parts where I'm watching it where I'm fast forwarding some parts, and I'm like, man, like certain parts I'm fast
See, I'm not the only
forwarding.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, hey, I mean, like I
Like I
said,
liked it the first time, but then it's kind of like now I'm kind of like I'm fast forwarding this,
Yeah.
I'm fast forwarding this part. I'm like,
I've had some comments to say about it, but I never said I didn't like it in our own
I liked
episode.
it
I
too.
said I liked it.
I liked it too. It's good Batman, and I can't wait for part 2.
It was okay.
I hope they kind of cut
They
it a little bit less.
Tighten it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tighten it up. Good editing will help. Corey
Corey
has-
says, "Hey guys, heard a little bit at the beginning, but then my service froze."
Okay.
Oh.
If you
Okay.
get back to join us, Corey, we would like to have you here on the show.
Roxanne says, "I could barely get through Scarlet Letter." Yeah, same here. I thought it was gonna be really fun. I was like, "Oh wow, the Demi Moore, Gary Oldman." I was like, "Okay, she got fucked by a priest." I was like, "All right," but no, that book is just fucking boring. She walks around with the letter A. I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
And then she agreed with me too. She loves Beowulf.
Okay,
Beowulf
there
is
you
a
go.
great fucking book. It's very bloody, very violent.
Corey says, so side note, I'm hearing Discovery bought
Yeah.
WB and now looking
For a Feige type person to reboot DC. Y'all hear anything about that? And what are your thoughts about that? So Corey, Rob Liefeld did have an episode about that. He has a lot of friends still inside of DC.
Observations.
Yeah. And he did say that too. Like he's like, Discovery now is the boss. He goes, he's not even too sure if Jim Lee's going to be in the same position or
Yikes.
not. Because they want to do what Marvel's doing, but it's, man, DC is so fucked up right now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like we said, they got 3 different Batmans. already. You know, 2 Flashes. You know,
and you know what the thought's going to be: scrub and start over.
And that's what they're going to do.
Do we need another
round? I think if they do, they're going to let Patterson still do maybe the trilogy, but they're going to have like a main Batman.
Another
you
Batman.
know, and like,
I mean, we don't need. I don't know if we need another.
And Ezra Miller, I don't know. Maybe they should just get rid of the dude. You know,
just get rid of him.
He's causing too much trouble. And that movie's not going to come out till June 2023.
Which
now.
Fans are upset about because we really want to see Michael Keaton back in the Batman suit. They're doing the Flashpoint movie is what it's called.
And then we don't know what's going to go on with Amber Heard.
Man, fuck Amber Heard.
Exactly, and I think there's like a petition to get rid of her as Mira.
Yeah.
So now there's that.
Yeah.
And then The Rock is kind of like doing his own thing with Black Adam. It's like, they want to get rid of Henry Cavill, but he wants Henry Cavill Superman in his movie, in his universe.
It's such a tough thing to say.
Who wants to get rid of Henry Cavill?
DC, they're not like, I don't know.
Because
they're not
they
happy
can't
with
get
the
it right.
results.
They don't know how to they could retcon stuff if they wanted. Keep the same actors. People
But see,
already
that's
know
the thing
them, and then
that
you
always
fix
fucks
it.
them up in the comics. That's why they always have to scrub and do a crisis.
Look at what Marvel's doing right now, where it's like you had these Netflix shows, right, that were beloved by fans of that. Now they're introducing that into our regular mainstream Marvel would, and they're gonna make it make sense. They're gonna make Kingpin make sense. They're gonna make Daredevil make sense. They put Daredevil in there with Spider-Man. Look at what happened with Spider-Man. We were kind of talking about this last week, right? Where we're like, look. They gave us Spider-Man with the people we wanted to see, with the Avengers. And now they wrote a story so well that they brought back 2 other Spider-Man, and then they're having him kind of separate from the Avengers. Now he's going to be in his own adventures. He's still a part of that world.
It kind of seems like now it's beginning, right? Now it's going to be like his beginning almost.
Right,
with Aunt May
almost all of that was a prequel. Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense because, Parker is young. So
absolutely.
But DC right now, man, it's like he said this is like their 3rd ownership in so many years, in almost a decade.
Getting maybe a single person to kind of head that is great, but you got to find someone kind of.
You got to find someone that's going to be. Look, Feige knows how to do these. He knows we're appealing to a specific crowd that really loves the way it looks, a certain look, a certain type. And DC just keeps doing the opposite.
And there was definitely some trial and error. I mean, not everything was perfect for him right out the gate. I don't think that he had,
We've said it too. Look, we love the Marvel movies, but we don't really love the Marvel movies. Like I said, I don't like watching Iron Man 2 and 3. I don't like watching Thor, the Thor movies after the first one.
We like that one, right? Me and you were the only Thor: The Dark World fans, whatever.
But I'm not a big fan of 2, 3.
Yeah, because you don't like funny Thor.
Yeah. The Captain America trilogy is the only one I think is really the solid. Best one. Yeah. They don't even mention the Hulk, the Edward Norton one. Yeah. That was actually pretty damn good.
I like that one a lot, except for the way that Abomination looks. But otherwise,
but William Hurt was really good in that
Fantastic.
one.
Rest in peace, William.
The Ant-Man movies is we could do it. We could have been fine. They're great. They're good movies.
Fun, though.
They're fun.
Really fun.
I like them.
The Guardians, I mean, that's another franchise too that we probably would never have asked for either.
Right. There's a lot of stuff I would not have asked for that we're going to just
really
get
like
anyway.
The Guardians, so.
Yeah, no, again, it ended up being a lot of fun, but I mean, it's just if you were to ask me,
I know.
But hey, do you want the Guardians or do you want the X-Men? I'd be like, X-Men, please.
Okay.
Fantastic Four, please. So Rizzo in the house says, wow. Corey says, I personally think
her should be cast out of DC. She screwed Johnny so badly. Which kind of sucks though, because honestly, and it sucks for both of them, because she fucked him, and vice versa, literally and figuratively. But I thought she was actually really good as Mirror. That's what kind of sucks.
And there we go, right?
But yeah, I mean, whatever. She caused him a whole. Franchise.
I will say this: if they
Pirates,
and Harry Potter,
and the Harry Potter one,
So I mean, if they let her be in that Aquaman 2, and then heard that the director, that James Wan or whatever, was gonna not, he said he was gonna stick with her. That was before all this. Now I think it's gonna be he's not gonna have a choice. But I mean, that just goes to show it's damn, someone does that kind of shit to somebody, and then you've got. What's her name? Carano from Mandalorian.
Oh, Gina.
Gina Carano.
Which
it's it seems mild in comparison.
And the thing with her too is all the coworkers love her. Mm-hmm. Everyone always
even
says
Pedro Pascal. And I don't think he doesn't agree with her opinions.
Bill Burr recently came out saying that's fucking stupid how they did it.
And I know he probably doesn't agree with her political views.
He doesn't. He said he doesn't.
He doesn't. But she's a good person.
But he goes, everyone always says that, man, when they're on set, she's just great. She's
Amber Heard does not sound like a good person.
No.
She sounds like a very awful person, actually. So Rizzo says DC is a dumpster fire. I don't think you'll get any arguments there,
Even
brother.
the comics are a dumpster fire.
Corey says, look at
Moon Knight 2. It's separate, but will eventually tie into bigger MCU story. Yeah, I mean, that's what they're doing. I mean, look, I didn't think What If was going to be tied into the movie, but from the first trailer of Doctor Strange, you're seeing like a whole bunch of like the What If stuff.
Yeah.
The monster, the dark Doctor Strange. I was like, oh wow, they're actually incorporating the What If stories.
I guess I should
in this movie.
Yeah, you should definitely watch those, man. I mean, I think it'll make. I think you'll be able to do okay without, but it'll probably make it much more enjoyable.
Aren't those short?
Oh, they're very short.
Yeah, they're like 30 minutes.
They're like 30 minutes. Yeah, they're good.
But watch the Doctor Strange one, the one that I don't like.
Yeah, the one I watched like 4 times.
Yeah, the one that
Which I was like, oof. Roxanne was saying she likes some of those miserable movies we mentioned. I was like, maybe I like.
Oh, I know. I couldn't believe it when you said that, Roxanne. I was like, golly.
Yeah.
I was like,
Roxanne does agree. Fuck Amber Heard. So, fuck Amber Turd. Very nice. Wonderful work.
That was one of them. It was like, The Last American Virgin. I was like,
yeah.
Because that ending just fucking sucked. I was like, fuck that movie.
Well, that's all the pop culture news I have, guys. How do y'all feel? Anything else you want to bring up? Have you been following the Johnny Amber thing? Or is there any standout things about it that...
I catch a few things on TikTok here and there. I'll watch pieces, but I don't watch
okay.
like hours on end.
Right.
And then I know Kara has kind of been giving me some insight too on some of the stuff, but it's everywhere, so it's kind of hard to not know about it.
Yeah.
It's on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. It's everywhere. So I'll read articles for here and there from different things, and it doesn't look good for her. It looks really bad for her, but she hasn't taken the stand yet. So I just kind of wonder how it's going to be once she's up there.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole different
ball game.
It's a whole different.
I mean, you're trying to get the sympathy of this jury, pretty much, and see, but it's like
But I mean,
I even heard her legal team isn't doing that great.
Yeah, her legal team has already fucked up so much.
People just keep coming up saying that Johnny's quiet. He's actually like a real shy guy around. You don't really even see him like really get angry. It's kind of like, ooh, this ain't looking good for you.
If there was some damning evidence against him, I'd
even
be
the ex-wife was like pro Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I just feel like it's fucked up too because they're like asking him like, "Did you do drugs with Paul Bettany?" And he's like, "Yes." It's like, oh fuck, Paul Bettany's probably like, "Fuck," you know what I mean?
I know, I'm like, you put my folks on blast.
I mean,
shit.
what are you gonna do though, right? I mean, of course, he's got a relationship with Disney. He doesn't want to fuck that up for himself, and then it's like, and here I just feel bad for him because your whole life is right now being like, all
Blasted?
these personal things,
yeah.
all these personal fights. It's like, it's just so ugly, man. I mean, like, but I was gonna say, if there was some damning evidence against Johnny that came out, I'd be like, shit, what a hell of an actor, right? Because we're all pretty convinced seeing him up there, like, the guy is really like.
I think that something would have already been revealed, and even the little bit of stuff that has been revealed, they're still just kind of like, well, we didn't see him like physically touch you or get even close to you or hit you, like. Yeah. It's just, her shit's ridiculous. I think that she did it to spite him, and I feel like she wanted him to be hurt. Just because she's crazy. Like, and I think she has some issues that she needs to see a doctor about.
Did you see that picture Kevin Nash posted? Kevin Nash, from WWE, Diesel posted a picture with her like sitting on his lap because they were together on the Magic Mike set. And I was like, oh.
She was in that movie?
I guess. Or just maybe hanging around. I was like,
damn.
And then I found out today, too, that she used to date Elon Musk for a little while.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that
it was during, right? When she was married?
She had an affair with Elon Musk and with James Franco.
Franco, too.
Literally, Elon is getting into everything and into everyone, apparently. So, there you go, Elon. Rock says...
I changed that ending
in your mind.
She says her lawyers are clown shoes.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree.
And Jason is asking me again if any of my books on the wall are for sale. No.
That remains no on that one. But we will say this. Go check out Rick's Comic Crypt this weekend. And Mario set up all their books, I'm sure, will be for sale. Jason, we want to go out and support them. Hey, here's a quick side note before we move on to our topic. I got an email from Comic Palooza, right? Like, once we go to one con, they send emails like, hey, come out. So, you're scrolling, they have different pictures for like, hey, photo ops and like autographs. Then they have one for like, get a booth, a vendor booth. Well, who's the cameo, the star of like the vendor booth holding up a T-shirt, but Gary from Toy Matrix. So I don't even know if Gary and Bobby know that, but apparently Gary is the face of the
vendor booth
option from Comic Palooza. I meant to take a screenshot and send it to him, but we were rushing over to get for the show, so I'll send that to Gary and Bobby later after the show, most likely. But without further ado, guys, I think we should just go ahead and get into this one, right? So Guys, it's again no secret, and we don't want to bury the lead here. Obviously, my shirt, and you can barely see my lightning bolt scar here. And sis, you're wearing your head wig with this letter and multiple things going on there, and we've got some stuff here you can kind of see in the background if you're watching us on Spotify or on YouTube. But what do you got there, sis? Your snitch ornament there, the golden snitch.
This kind of looks like Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, it does.
The Tom Cruise.
Yeah, we've got the Deathly Hollows here, and then I brought one of my favorite snacks, Bertie Bott's any flavor beans. And then we've got a couple of wands back here.
Show that one. Which one's that one?
So this one has got a cool story. So this one, if you're watching us again on Spotify or on YouTube, you see the white bone, which is this is Lord Voldemort's wand. I ordered one of these for Double A's middle brother Will, who joined us on our NBA episode. He'd gotten me a really cool gift. We used to kind of do this back and forth, getting each other out, doing each other
bad
really
motherfucker wallet.
Cool gifts. Yeah, the bad motherfucker wallet, which had a funny story. He told me when he got that, they accidentally sent him two, so he gave you one, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Was the story, and so then he. When I ordered this for him, he sent me. They sent me two wands, so I ended up with a Voldemort wand too. This is the only Harry Potter wand I currently own, but it's very cool. And then you two have an interesting story about your single wand you own, right, sis?
Well, I mean, so I have only one wand also, which is the Sirius Black one. Was actually gifted to me, I think, for a birthday.
It was a birthday. Mm-hmm.
From Adamantium Adam.
Which is this,
and that's a real nice one.
It's heavy in the front.
I really like that one a lot.
It must be
I like the design on it.
I liked in the movies how they talk about what the core is. You know, the core is
right. It's kind of weird. Like I just kind of picked his because I was like
Gary
Oldman, and then she told me when I gave it to her, she was like, "Man, he's like one of my favorite actors."
One of her favorite characters in all the movies.
Serious.
She's always been a Sirius Black fan. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I hate watching when he dies. I'm just like, really.
And I've got my 3D glasses from when I went to see the movie in 3D. I was going to wear them.
I was going to wear them, but
he's criminal.
Yeah. Double A said I look more like Dr. Otto Octavius, so, we don't want to go for that look. But, yeah, man, I mean, like I said, we're talking Harry Potter tonight, guys. We're talking the boy
franchise.
The franchise, the boy who lives on. Amy said to me, she goes, "Well, what are we gonna do? We're talking about the new 3 movies. Or we're talking about
it's celebrating 21 years this year."
Yeah, there was a big HBO special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't watch the HBO special.
I haven't watched it yet either, but
I haven't seen it either. I've seen parts of it here and there. It's just kind of reminiscing. Mm-hmm. A lot of the actors reminiscing.
I can tell you this, man. The kid that played Longbottom looks like a young Clive Owen. Now,
really?
Like, man, he's like a real stud. That
he's
kid.
Really handsome now.
Yeah, I was like, shit, that guy really grew up into his own. But I think the best way to approach this before I'm going to go around and get everyone's history and their backstory with Harry Potter, but I do want to read Mr. Anthony Caruso's great comment from earlier. Anthony says here, I met the wife through Harry Potter at a Harry Potter fan site. Met in person at the movie's premiere on the 7th movie. Ron and Hermione were our wedding cake toppers.
Oh my gosh.
We walked into John Williams' score. The property means the world to me. I had no idea about any of that, Anthony. That's so great. I was like, cheers to that, man. I would have easily invited you to be on this episode had I known all that. So that's amazing, my friend. Couldn't be done a better way. So totally, obviously, the franchise would have an incredible amount of meaning to you. And I think this franchise has a lot of meaning to obviously a lot of people in the entire world. Yeah. So, sis, as our guest, let's start with you. Tell us your history with Harry Potter, how you maybe got into introduced to the character, where your love where your love for the franchise started, the property started.
I feel like I've always been interested in, I guess, like, what would you call it? Nonfiction. Mm-hmm. Like mystical and
the magic stuff, right?
Yeah, like magic and witches and wizards and the darkness and, just stuff that doesn't exist in real life. I don't know, what you would call that, but I've always been interested in those kinds of things. And
the occult?
I guess.
The dark arts?
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
I'm pretty sure that I saw the previews too when it first came out, and I was very interested. And then I probably was interested first because you just said that our
You
cousins,
were a
Will
fan
and
before
then-
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And you
because I
used to tell
really
me about
like
that.
That's that fantasy.
fantasy. There you go, Rox. Like I really love the whole fantasy. You know, like the Falcor movies and
Never Ending Story.
Never Ending Story. Like I love that the fantasy.
Legend.
You know,
Genre.
genre. Yeah,
Gotcha.
genre. I can't think of the correct words, but and then of course when I first watched it, I immediately fell in love, even though. Now, the first movie, which is The Sorcerer's Stone, is not my favorite movie. It's not my favorite, and I don't think neither is Chamber of Secrets.
Okay.
So, but I was younger then, you know, still with the same love for those types of movies and genre, so I fell in love with it, and then you got into it, and then it kind of became a thing that we were going to together for the premieres of the new movies, and it just kind of grew from there. So yeah, I mean, there's so much to even say. I can't even get it all out.
I get you. No, I get you.
It'll come out as we go along.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What about you, Double A? What was your kind of introduction into the property?
Yeah, so
and the
actually,
franchise?
I could have cared less about this franchise. It was like the first two movies went by, and it was Boy that actually got me into it. He's like, you need to see these movies. You need to see these movies. I was like, really? I was like, you're into it?
That's actually kind
all
of
people,
surprising.
right?
Yeah,
it's kind of surprising.
It was
Yeah.
Boy. And he was like, no, it's really good. It's really good. You got to check it out. You got to check it out. So I saw the first two. I think him or Will had bought the DVDs. I saw those. I was like, oh man, it's cool. You know, and then I found out it was like Chris Columbus.
Yeah.
Like his work, you know,
Great.
Chris Columbus. And so it was Prisoner of Azkaban when that came out that I was finally like, oh shit, the new one's coming out. Cool.
Okay.
You know, so Prisoner of Azkaban was kind of probably the first one I was like really hot for. I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could see that because I
was
like that one.
Will into it at kind of the same time? Like at the
Yeah,
same
like
time?
him and
Because
Boy were actually like into it. I was like, what the
they
fuck?
would, you know,
like I was
often-
into Lord of the Rings, which they thought was stupid, and they were into Harry Potter, which I thought was stupid.
Yeah.
You know, until William finally saw Lord of the Rings and he ended up liking those.
Yeah.
Boy didn't. He thought it was stupid.
Yeah. They're drawn out, right?
I'm a lover of both. I think.
Aaron B in the house. Aaron says, "What up, peeps?"
What's up,
She says,
Aaron?
"What are we
All
talking
right.
about? We're talking about Harry Potter tonight." Aaron, one of all three of our favorite franchises, and really, it has become an iconic pop culture franchise. It's ranked up there with your
man.
Star Wars,
Yeah.
with your Lord of the Rings, with your, you know. I mean, really, those are like the tops. I mean, I think if you think about it when it comes to, I mean, Marvel. You could put Marvel films up there. It's
Yeah,
like,
for
you know,
sure.
you've got those big overheads that have created these fandoms.
I mean, it was the first
You know.
big story, right? That spanned like several movies.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, and it
not
was
a trilogy.
falling into line with the books, which the books were these big sensations, and then it was like you
Which
knew they
I
were going to be
really
movies.
didn't even know about either until the movie came out.
I have never read any of the books. I would love to read them, but
They're there in my bookshelf.
I'm a mom, so it's
They're
like,
pretty good. It's kind of like
if I get to read the newspaper, that
like some of the stuff that he leaves out. It just feels like deleted scenes. Almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And the first two books are fast reads, and they're almost identical to the movies. Like it's
Okay.
it's really really close. Those
that's
two.
good.
Just maybe added commentary, maybe here and there.
Yeah,
right?
some added maybe some minor changes. And I remember that it was your brother Will, your middle brother, he was the one that was harping on me, and he's like, "Oh man, give it a chance." I was like, "I don't know, it doesn't. It seems like it's for kids." Like I was,
And I was
like,
already all like, "Yeah,
You
do
know-
it."
So I watched the first show. I think at the time Azkaban was already out. So then I watched all three, and I was like, "Oh man, this is the shit! Like this is fucking so awesome!" And I was like, "I'm in love with this stuff," and I wanted to get my hands on the books. And I can say this: I read all the first books up till book 6. Your brother printed out,
Yeah, he
these
printed out the seventh
double
one.
sheet things, and so I would literally, when I ride the bus, I used to ride the bus every day in the morning and the afternoon, and I didn't want to have headphones on because I was afraid of getting robbed. So I would be like, "I'll read. If you're reading, no one's going to bother you, whatever." And I would read so much. I got really fast at reading when I was reading those. I remember the print being super small too. It probably fucked up my eyes, but it was like I was just like, I mean, literal page turners. Like I was like, damn, this is like awesome. That I try.
Because you kind of already know what their story
Just
is,
those
right?
books.
So it's kind of
Mhm.
like you're getting a sneak peek,
yeah,
you know,
And
before the movie comes out.
And of course, you had already seen the movie, so the way I was reading them, I'm
You're
really
hearing the voices.
visualizing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe,
You're
Rupert
seeing
Grint, Emma
Hogwarts.
Watson.
You're seeing everything. You're seeing the bar. Everything.
Absolutely. So that was my exposure to it, and it was one of the few times. Well, I won't say few, but it was one of the times where I can remember in my history of fandom and stuff where I, had to eat my words because I was like, this is awesome, and I didn't give it a chance. And I always think about that now when people don't give stuff a chance. I'm like, look, I didn't like Harry Potter when it first came out, but I also wasn't giving it a chance to watch it or read it. And now it's like, I couldn't be a bigger Harry Potter fan, So, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, there goes the scar. So a couple of comments in here.
Roxanne says, I remember when it was just the books. The Warner Brothers store used to sell keychains and plush toys before the movies were even made. And then she says, you will love the books, Amy.
Mm-hmm. I'm still trying to finish our book, Rocks, but yeah, I would love to read them, especially now that I've already watched them all fucking hundreds of times over and again, and CM's always like, you're watching this again. I was just watching it not that long ago, a couple months ago. I do my run of like, I'm going to watch them all in a row again because I really love them a lot.
For a while, I remember I owned all the movies, and your friend Veronica would always like maybe once a year she'd be like, Charlie, can I borrow the Harry Potter movies? And I would lend her the whole run, and she would go watch her whole run. Yeah. Corey had some firm words.
Hey Corey, if you're still around, check out next week. We're going to be talking Moon Knight, the series. So I'm sure you'll want to.
We want to definitely hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So
if you're still around, we're talking Moon Knight next week.
Absolutely.
With Jerry.
Yeah, with Jerry. Jerry should definitely be on for that one. Corey did have some other words regarding.
He just said he wasn't a big fan of Harry Potter.
Okay, gotcha.
He goes the Fantastic Beasts story was okay when he was. He's
not really his thing. Gotcha, man. Gotcha. No, and everything not for everyone, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, apparently Kevin Smith's not a fan of Lord of the Rings. So.
right. I know Aaron B's here. Aaron B isn't a fan of kind of a lot of the stuff that we talk about. I mean, except like when we did mob movies and stuff like that. He likes stuff more based in reality. So nothing wrong with that. I mean, we get it. It's different strokes for everyone. Yeah. So again, I don't think any of us got started with the books, but you eventually read them.
I read. You know what? I actually only read Half-Blood Prince and the last movie.
Okay.
And the last book, and it was kind of funny when I was reading the last book. I kind of knew where the first movie was going to end.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, I already know where they're going to cut it off. Probably, most likely, it's going to be at this spot. But they were really good. I loved the Half-Blood Prince. That was really good. But it's kind of cool, right? I mean, it was J.K. Rowling. She's kind of like a struggling. Woman living, kind of almost homeless, I
think so. That's what they say. She was kind of homeless.
She starts, this whole universe. I mean, a boy wizard, destined to, meet this fucking dark lord, this horrible dark lord, I mean, it was really cool. It's really cool universe, the magic, the wands, very clever the way they use them, the schools, the different schools within the schools, the Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, and Ravenclaw.
Have you guys ever done the test on the Pottermore site to get sorted into your house?
No, I haven't.
So it only lets you do it once or whatever. So I'm sure maybe if you switch your name and use different emails, maybe it'll let you do it more than once. But yeah, so Pottermore I think is like kind of like the known and respected website where you can go and like. You take like a test and you get sorted into your house. That's like the official one. So
nice.
I did get sorted into Hufflepuff, which I was like, okay,
you're
not a Gryffindor, but not a Slytherin either.
And it's kind of funny too because when I was in school, for some reason they had split the school up into like 4 areas. It was like business, art, and I forgot the other 2. So I was kind of like, oh wow, that's kind of weird.
Okay, interesting.
So it's kind of like.
Do you have a favorite house, AA, that you would like to be a part of Gryffindor?
Gryffindor, man.
Amy, would you say the same?
It's because I'm pretty sure maybe in the books they describe maybe Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw a little bit more. I don't know. I would like to know more about those 2 schools.
I agree with you because,
right?
like in the movies,
you don't hear about them. You don't know
really,
what.
Like there's 2 other houses.
Slytherin's supposed to be like powerful wizards, right? Like you go there to learn powerful spells, right? Kind of like in Slytherin. Gryffindor is kind of like what. Like, to become strong, but kind of be defense almost, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like Gryffindors are, like, known for being brave and, like, courageous. The Ravenclaws are known for, like, kind of being, like, cunning.
And see, they never show any of that, right?
Right.
Like, Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff.
You almost get, like, Ravenclaw is, like, the one above, like, Slytherin. Like, it's, like, you don't...
Oh, wow, really?
It'd be Slytherin would be, like, kind of the one you don't want to be in. But because Dark Wizards came from there is where people were... Like, all the Dark Wizards...
But you become powerful, though, right? If you're a Slytherin, right?
Right. And they're, like, supposed to be, like, ambitious. It's kind of like...
there you go.
Like, the way way that like they describe like the Sith, where it's like there is no whatever, like there's no like good or bad. It's like there's just like passion, like you're just like living for like power. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's like either you're gonna have it or you're not. So that's kind of what they kind of describe the Slytherins like. I think
ambitious, where Gryffindor is brave, courageous.
So I was always torn between Slytherin and Gryffindor, as I can see here. I have both scarves.
There you go. Yeah, for those of us not watching on
Just made.
Yeah,
Just made these for me.
Those are just the.
I think one was for my birthday, and I really wanted the Slytherin one also.
And you base these on the scarves they wear in the movies, right?
Yes.
If you're not seeing us on video,
look at Jess go.
Amy is showing off the Gryffindor and the Slytherin scarves. And again, some of that stuff changes throughout the movies. They kind of get different things as the movies go along. Different. I'm sure that there's people that are doing the props and things like that, so they alter it a little bit. But those, I think, from the original, Jess did create those, which are they're really and they're super freaking warm.
Oh, they look awesome.
Though they don't want to wear that.
I thought you bought them from the Disney store.
Oh no!
If it's even mildly,
I paid a hell of a lot more.
Not cool. You don't want to wear them for sure.
She said that I think these took her a long time to do because
they're double. They're like super thick.
Yeah,
you should let hang on, touch one of those.
But hard for me to choose which one's my favorite because I definitely love who.
Well, why do you like Slytherin? Because I've never a fan of Slytherin.
I really love Professor Snape.
Mm.
And
I thought he was a jerk.
A lot of people hated him, but I thought that he was like kind of funny at times when even though he was serious the whole damn time. Hence his name, Sirius.
Hey Charlie, you went to You went to Highland Hills, right? For a little bit.
I went for 1 year. Yes,
I went.
My first grade.
Did you guys ever have like Miss Pierce?
I did not.
I think I remember her, but I don't know if I had her.
First grade teacher.
She kind of reminded me of Snape.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I went to kinder in California, first grade here. My first grade teacher at Highland Hills, her name was Miss Tristan. So I remember her. No,
yeah, it was just like it reminded me of that teacher, and I was like, fucking asshole.
I guess,
not Dolores Umbridge.
Oh god. See, and I always loved Snape. Like
I love Alan Rickman.
I like
Nick Rickman was
and
great.
then, of course, when I found out his story, I was definitely more maybe that's why I knew that there was something else. It wasn't just because he wanted to be an asshole.
And see, that's the thing, too, like the character progressions, right? Some of them were like, oh, wow, you didn't expect that for Snape. Like, by the end, you're like, oh, wow, it was completely different from where you see him in Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, definitely. Definitely a great arc
he's just
for him.
That prick teacher.
Yeah. He has one of the better arcs of all the characters.
Him and Neville, is like, God.
And, of course, Alan Rickman is tearing it up. He is amazing in that role. So, you were going to say?
No, I agree with Double A. I mean, I guess I just always felt that there was going to be something more with his character because of the way that he was, because he was so aggressive and like no one liked him and he was such a dick or whatever.
So again, it's funny that those are the two houses you like because again, those are the two houses they kind of focus on.
Yeah, that's the only ones they focus on.
But they do tell you throughout a little bit about I think a few people that are Ravenclaws, and again, I think maybe in the books you get definitely a lot more.
You see him in Deathly Hallows, you get kind of stuff on those houses a little bit.
Rowena Ravenclaw.
Right, Rowena Ravenclaw. Yeah, the crown. She had the crown thing. And
her story was kind of interesting. Gosh, I can't really remember it though.
The Hufflepuffs were known for being like noble and humble and like great like. I can't remember exactly what things it was, but they were great like at a bunch of things. But Cedric Diggory and
Cedric, that's right.
In the Goblet of Fire is a Hufflepuff, and I was me and Amy were having this discussion the other night. I said really,
and I was wrong.
He was chosen from Hogwarts to be the
representative.
It was because all that shit was going on. Harry ends up representing Gryffindor, but in a way it was kind of fucked up because it's you're hosting the tournament at Hogwarts, and then you've got two people in. It's like these three different schools gathered, and then you've got two representatives from your school. But again, of course,
but they were scared because it was kind of like, who the hell holds this kind of power?
Yeah,
that could draw Harry's name.
That's why I think like the Hufflepuffs. Animal is the badger because it's supposed to be like the humble and noble badger or whatever. Okay. So, and then Amy didn't know this too, but about like Newt Scamander when you get to the new one, he was from Hufflepuff as well.
That's right.
Hufflepuff's pretty cool. I think I used to kind of be down that I was a Hufflepuff, but then I was like, oh okay.
Roxanne says she always wanted to be in Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's definitely some cool stuff about Ravenclaw.
And then she goes, I believe when artists are struggling, they sometimes come up with their best material. J.K. Rowling came up with Harry Potter. Stallone with Rocky, and Richard O'Brien wrote Rocky Horror when he was totally broke and couldn't get anywhere. Pretty much, it's kind of like when your back's against the wall, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like McMahon, right? Like with
the
Monday Night Wars. It was like he was really...
Even with WrestleMania, don't they say that if WrestleMania hadn't succeeded, he would have gone bankrupt?
He would have gone bankrupt.
Yeah, he put all the money that he'd had into WrestleMania, making it a spectacle. So I love that because that's something that comes from a lot of the people I really admire. I mean, like, well, maybe not like...
Well, even like
Jordan,
Stan Lee, remember?
Stan Lee.
His wife told him, write the story that you want. He said, you're going to quit anyway, so write the story that you want. He wrote, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Stanley. Hugh Hefner is another guy that I really admired. He kind of took this really controversial idea and was going to make it. I sometimes think of Jordan in that too, but he did have the basketball thing going for him. But obviously became a very savvy bit. Right. Well, we just saw the episode of Winning Time. One guy turns down a great deal.
But would it have made the same impact though? Honestly,
I don't know.
Because me and Boy were talking about that. We're kind of getting off. Me and Boy were talking about that. Would it have been an impact like Michael? Michael was the...
That's a great conversation for that episode when we get to that episode. But that is a funny part where he's like, he regrets it. Like, it's like, shit, that fucking Nike deal, man, that stock being that low. But again, we digress on that. So, okay, so I got you guys houses that you like. Let's talk a little bit about maybe some of our favorite characters. We kind of already talked about, like, Severus Snape, played by Alan Rickman is fantastic. But what are some of the others?
ended up really loving Neville towards the middle.
Longbottom.
And Luna. I love Luna.
Oh, I love Luna.
I fucking love Luna.
Luna Mark,
like I thought she was great. I was like, man, she's badass. She's the only one that believes Harry.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks she's fucking crazy. Harry sees her for who she really is. She becomes pretty powerful. In her own right.
They go together, right, to the dance.
I think they do end up.
No, they go to the dinner. They go to the dinner together. That Slughorn.
I can't remember.
Slughorn invites the.
Yeah, you might be right. What were you
Luna?
thinking? Luna loves
He takes her to something. Because she has the dress on.
Friday Nighters, anyway, so help us out here.
Yeah, I think it's
with
the
Luna Lovegood, Neville Longbottom.
And Roxanne says, "Oh, I love Luna too." Because she's awesome. She's badass. I like her a lot, and it looks like it's kind of a deviation from the book, or from what Rowling says. But it makes it seem like her and Neville are going to be together. But I think Rowling had said, what becomes of the characters, and she said that she's with somebody else. But
wow!
In the movie, it makes it look like her and Neville get together.
Okay,
I wouldn't have minded if Harry and her got together.
I like him with Ginny.
I mean,
I'm fine with Dick.
Yeah,
because they stay family.
Right.
Yeah.
Becomes like Ron's brother.
That was kind of weird though.
I really
when
like
that
Luna
popped up though, I remember thinking like, oh wow, that's kind of random. Like him and
because
Ginny.
she was younger, right?
About like maybe a year.
Like 1 year. Yeah, like one. She's like one.
But still, I was kind of like, where did this come from?
I do feel like it was. Yeah, I felt
and then all of a sudden,
way.
I was like, where the fuck did this come from?
I was like, but I guess you do always see how Ginny does like him.
Yeah, like in Chamber,
it's more fleshed out, like in the books, like so that kind of is like, and I think there's like if you're building that story a lot, like it loses the focus of the movie. Because remember, each book and each movie is kind of solidarily pushing you towards like. You're in this Voldemort story.
And not only that, but it's like every year it was like something. There was some big threat that Harry couldn't really think about girls. It was kind of like, oh shit, this motherfucker's trying to kill me again.
Yeah,
I just feel like the movies were so long. Each of the movies were so long that they could have put a love part in each of the movies.
Yeah,
if they wanted
I think
to.
They could have. That might have been. That might have been something.
It was kind of good how they did Hermione and Ron, right? Because it was like
I liked them, Ron and Hermione.
But it was like hints.
I liked
in the
them
movies.
together. Like I really didn't want Harry and Hermione together. I love that they were best friends. Yeah. I really did love that aspect of their relationship.
I did too. I like Harry and Hermione.
Yeah,
being confidants.
Right.
To
like,
each other.
hey, I got your back, kind of thing, and then,
There definitely was a time for me when I thought that I would have liked to have seen Harry and Hermione together, but for me, she's a character that I liked a lot. Like I think maybe some people found her annoying in those initial movies, but I didn't. I liked that she was clever.
Either, but I did read that. I read a lot of criticism about that, like in the beginning, that she was annoying, but I didn't think so.
I mean, the cast.
I
is
felt like
great.
she wasn't that important yet. For us, like we were just kind of like, oh, she's just going to be one of the.
Like it seemed like it was Ron and Harry, right?
Yeah,
and she's kind of just like there.
Yeah,
like bailing them out, but just kind of there.
I don't know. I liked her right away because she was clever, and even though she was a little girl with this crazy hair, she wasn't like annoying. And again, wonderfully casted and played by Harry Potter Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh man, they said they went through shitload of
lots and lots and
kids
lots,
for the whole story. You know,
Rupert Grint as of course Ron Weasley, and then you've got Emma Watson as Hermione Granger, and so I liked her right away, but I really super fell in love with her in Prisoner of Azkaban. And the third one, it's like she's really. Like, the intelligence is really showing. She's a really bright and clever wizard. I like that. Like,
the dark storytelling comes in a lot, though, in that one. You know, with the whole family thing. You know, initially thinking Sirius is the one that killed his family, betrayed his family. Yeah. Not only killed him, but betrayed him, you know?
And that movie is strong to me because it's kind of like the movie that really, like... I mean, I love the first two, but that movie really was like... Because that story...
That's the time one, too, right? That's the time one, too, right?
Yeah, with the time turner. Yeah. The story, too, with, Sirius Black being Harry's uncle, and he's so close to getting... Godfather, yeah. He's so close to getting away from the Dursleys and having this life, and he doesn't, he's just cheated that opportunity, you know what I mean? And it's like, damn, like...
Was it you guys that told me the whole theory about the Dursleys, why they hated Harry so much? Was it you guys that told me because Harry's a Horcrux?
Oh no, that wasn't me. That's an interesting theory.
Somebody read that too. Somebody had told me that because Harry had Voldemort still in him, that the Dursleys were like being twisted almost
by being around him.
Because he was a Horcrux. But I mean,
I could see.
I don't know if it was or not, because obviously the mom, they show her later on where she hates her sister.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if it was or not. I don't know.
It's an interesting concept.
Well, I mean, they do say that in. I can't think specifically what movie, but that's when Dumbledore tells him like one cannot live without the other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
that was in Half-Blood, I believe.
Yeah, because when Voldemort scarred him, he put a piece of himself into Harry, and that's how he was able to still survive. Even when his other Horcruxes were being destroyed.
Okay, so Double A, you said Neville and Luna. Until Amy, you said
and the mom too. I love Ron's mom.
Oh, Ron's mom, great.
I actually was going crazy when I read the last book before the movie had came out, and when I found out what she did in the book, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see that when it's on the big screen. So I was
Molly Weasley. Yeah, she definitely was.
Like me and my wife were always like, it was cool of her that it was like she took in Harry immediately. Didn't think nothing of it. She was always like,
she didn't see him as like the rich boy who lived.
It was just like, man, this poor kid that
doesn't have anyone
with this fucking assholes that he lives with.
She showed true compassion.
And he also, too, like, you liked seeing Harry be in, like, what he thought was, like, a normal, loving family.
Right.
Like, that really, like, grounded him,
And the dad, too. I think the dad really...
He loved Harry. Yeah.
I can't think of the dad's name.
Arthur?
Oh, yeah.
Arthur Weasley.
Yeah. Okay, so... also, you said Molly Weasley. What about you, sis? Who were your top, what would you say, characters? I know you mentioned Luna, and I know you've mentioned Snape already, but were there others? I mean, obviously, Sirius Black you talked about quite a bit.
Sirius Black. I think Sirius Black was probably one of my favorite characters.
That was great, too. What a great character.
I was really broken when they killed him off. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
I was really surprised, too, when I saw the movie.
Because, obviously, I'm sure we all feel the same way. Like, you have Harry, who has no real family. He finally gets a real family person in his life, and then they kill him off, and I'm like, okay.
But then we get like Force Ghost Sirius in the fourth one, and Olivia in the fire, right? And
And that scene is so intense too, right? Like after she kills him, Harry's reaction,
Yeah, that is that's just all like rough. Like
I read this more than once in an article that when they were filming, which maybe you guys have read it too. That Emma Watson and Helena Bonham Carter were so emotional during that scene when Harry was screaming when Sirius died when they're filming it, and that's like made me emotional because I'm like,
oh damn,
for them, because they're just watching him act,
that's
and that they were both very emotional, and I think it said that they were crying, Emma Watson and Helena Bonham Carter because of the scream that he did when that happened, and I'm just like
intense.
And you don't really hear it; it's muted.
Right. But you can feel it. Yeah. You can feel it.
Oh like, boy, yeah.
You're just like, fuck, So I really hated that happened. I feel like
I was shocked when that happened. I was like, oh, man.
I was kind of like, are they killing him off so that Harry can become himself.
Well, I'm sure. Everything that he's
But
going
I felt
through
like
is
it was too
leading
soon.
to that.
Like, you didn't even give him a chance to live with him and experience.
But no, that's what I mean. These are the things. These are the things that are molding Harry to become who he's going to become.
I really did hate that part though throughout the whole series. But
talking about the good acting, and it's like I know that Foxy Roxy, and Holty Bear John, they're both big fans of the Cedric Diggory father in that scene when he shows up to kill, and when he's like,
that's terrible.
My boy. Like, they're like, they always bring that part of like a piece of good acting is that part. And I'm like, yeah, that shit is fucking, that chokes me up. Like, I'm like, oh fuck, like that's fucking awful. I mean, then amidst all that, like that one is super dark because it's like
really dark. The
Voldemort's
Goblin Fire.
coming back. Oh yeah, it's coming back, and Barty Crouch Jr.
I didn't know who he was, but I'm sure it was like a big thrill for a lot of the English fans. I mean, Doctor Who,
as a Doctor
right?
Who, he was one of the
Harry
Doctor
Potter.
Who's. Yeah, definitely.
Doctor Who.
Me neither. I tried to see that. I didn't really get into it.
I know it was a big hit. I know it was very popular.
But I'm pretty sure for a lot of overseas people, they're probably like, "Oh wow, Doctor Who."
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so for me, obviously, it's like I said, I loved Hermione. Snape was a great character to me, Sirius Black. But I was a big Dumbledore from the beginning, a big Dumbledore fan.
I loved Richard Harris.
Yes.
And it took me a while before I was okay with this one.
Michael Gambon.
Michael Gambon. Yeah. Because I didn't like him in Prisoner of Azkaban, and I didn't like him in Goblet of Fire. I think it was kind of like Half-Blood.
I think.
It wasn't like till Half-Blood where he started kind of looking better. And even in Deathly Hallows, he's good in that one too.
And then in Order of the Phoenix, of course, we get that.
Order, yes. I think that's the first one.
Fight,
I think that's the first one where I was kind of like, okay, this guy's finally getting to me now.
Yeah.
Now, could we have seen the first Dumbledore do that scene?
It would have maybe been some CGI stuff, maybe.
Well, I know he was already old in real life,
Yeah. Richard Harris was fantastic.
Yeah, he was.
Kind of my Dumbledore. So much. Yeah. The half moon spectacles, they talked about that. I don't even think Michael Gambon wore the glasses. Which is a big describer in the books of what, Dumbledore
and then what
wears.
killed me too is that they really tried getting him a killing. But he didn't want to be typecast because he was already playing Gandalf. I was like, man, can you imagine if Ian McKellen came on for fucking Dumbledore?
Scary in real life.
And then he had that voice too.
Yeah, that's interesting. An interesting turn there, sis. But yes, that would have made a.
I was like, man, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I really loved Hagrid too.
Great. Yeah, Hagrid's a great character. Robbie Coltrane, right, from Bond. We love him from Bond. Yeah. But I cannot ever even imagine anybody else being Hagrid.
And
a great character.
What was the best friend name? Sirius's best friend from Part 3.
Oh,
because I loved him, Lupin.
I
love Lupin in that movie too.
Great too.
I loved him too.
One thing I did not like about that was I wish the werewolf would have looked better. It was not a good looking werewolf. The skinny werewolf.
But did they try to make it that way? Is it like that?
I think they maybe do describe it like something like that. In fact, there's like a rendering in the books. There's sometimes like little pictures that are like drawings. And I think it kind of does look that way.
Kind of like
fuck that, man. Make him like a big
like wolf, right?
Badass. Like I'm like fuck it. They're taking liberties.
The Howling.
One of the things that people don't. I'm wearing my scar right now on my left side, but it's like that's one of the things that in the books Harry Potter scar's in the middle or whatever. Mm-hmm. So a lot of fans initially were upset that they moved the scar, which I'm always curious about when studios do something minor like that.
Right?
Like why do that? Why is that a thing? Maybe because it looked Charles Manson-ish being in the center of his head. I don't know. I'm just this is my own guess. Or maybe they asked
Daniel, like, where do you want it? And he was like,
that's kind of interesting.
Here. And they're like, all right.
Well, because the scar is such a big part of Harry, but yet it's not. If you think you forget about it in the movies, you know what I mean?
No,
it's
but
it
kind of makes sense because I was listening to Liefeld's podcast and he was saying that the Fantastic Four cartoon, the old one, it didn't have the Human Torch. It had Robbie the robot.
Or Herbie.
No, Herbie. Whatever it is. The fucking robot.
It was a robot. It was a dumb robot. I know that.
They were saying that it was because they were afraid kids might set themselves on fire.
Fuck.
That's
dark. Yeah.
But, it's concerns like that. And maybe you're right. Maybe it's like, that looks maybe too much Manson.
It's a little swastika-y. You know what I mean?
Maybe overseas it doesn't matter, but in America, it's kind of like...
Maybe you guys are right.
When I first showed, I told Jez, hey, draw me a lightning bolt scar for Harry or whatever. She's like, pull up a picture, and I was like, wow, in a lot of these Harry Potter pictures, you don't really see it. I had to look for one with him kind of showing it or whatever, because his hair is always like...
his hair is always crazy, so it's always
crazy. Yeah, but it's little things, right? Because I think I even heard, like, when they had originally cast Kristen Stewart as Bella, people were really upset about because her eyes aren't the same color as Bella in the Bella in the Twilight books.
They're
like, well, her eyes aren't this, and everyone was like, oh no, we're gonna put her in contacts. And I was like, but see, to me, that's like a minor change they could have made. They would have been like, who gives a fuck? Like, blue eyes look better on camera, like, but then they're like, that's not how the character looks, and I'm like, why did you make? That's a subtle difference.
But you can kind of relate too. I mean, it was kind of like, remember X-Men when X-Men came out?
Tall Wolverine?
Well, no, all black.
Oh right, yeah.
We're kind of like, where's the blue? Where's the fucking yellow? I mean,
yeah,
we kind of do that too.
It is true.
I mean,
it's like tall Wolverine didn't bother me. I was like, Hugh Jackman 6'1".
It would look stupid if you got a 5'3". Who's fucking bulky at 5'3"? I mean,
Mysterio. On that other guy too, Matt Cross. These guys jacked.
That's two guys.
We met him. I don't know.
He's like, really?
Can he act? Danzig wanted to play.
Kevin Hart's kind of jacked for a little guy. You know?
He's actually really jacked.
Yeah, Danzig. Yeah, that would have been something, right? I think even he's too tall.
I think I told you about the Witcher pops that I had found.
Oh, right.
And I really wanted them, but I wanted the Yennefer and the Geralt, but both of their eyes are just regular colored.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy them.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that's a very distinctive feature of those characters in that show.
But there's just like I said, little things that it's like they'll change or whatever, and then you're like, why did they make that subtle change? You know,
because people like me or you notice shit like that.
I guess so.
You're like, what? Why you do that for?
Okay, let's get back into it, guys. Okay, so let's talk about the movies. Sis, we'll start with you. You said earlier that you liked the first two, and those were the ones I remember you owned them for a very long time on DVD. You had these nice copies.
The first Harry Potter?
And yeah, you kept. And when I finally decided to watch them, I watched your copies. When your brother finally convinced me.
The first two are not my favorite. I really liked Goblet of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the last two. Half-Blood Prince was good too.
That's a really good one.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that one.
Half-Blood Prince was good, but I think pretty much from Prisoner of Azkaban on, I was pretty much
when it became
like
darker, and more grown
and
up.
you get more details of what's going on in the story and about the characters. And I think y'all both know I'm real big about background stories on characters because
origin type stuff,
and they do really good.
That helps you make or break the character.
For
you as an individual, it'll help you like love them or hate them.
Like Voldemort, you found out right off the bat that he was just pure evil.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There was nothing wrong with him. There's no broken home with this dude. It was just
he was
a witch and a sailor or something. He was half.
But he was alone. He was in a fucking home. He didn't have a family.
Yeah.
So I mean, but
he was doing evil things already. I mean, he was stealing from people.
Like he was, you knew he was going to get up to dark magic.
Right off the bat, too, asking the professor, how do you split your soul into like 7 pieces?
Oh, yeah. That's him.
And he's already older. He looks like he's about 15 right there. I'm like, damn, dude.
I think he's the one who kills Rowena, right?
To
look up that story, guys. It's kind of killing me about the
pretty good, but okay, well,
yeah. So I really do love the Sorcerer's Stone. That's probably the one, probably the most I watched over and over.
The basilisk, right?
Because it's just Chris Columbus has this style.
Yeah,
and so he's like he has like a bright style. Like I don't know how to describe it. From like the Home Alone movies. To like the National Lampoon movies, he has a very distinct style that he likes doing. So Sorcerer's Stone is probably my second. Half-Blood Prince is actually my favorite
one.
Because it seemed for a while that it was going like a really dark path, like Amy said, it was almost kind of like from like Prisoner of Azkaban to Order of the Phoenix. It was kind of like really dark, and there was like a lot of main characters that died there. Yeah, and it felt like they were kind of having more fun in Half-Blood Prince again. They kind of did their hairs again. It stopped being like emo at that time. And him and Ron, I like the scene where like they have a free period. You remember? And McGonagall was like, no, that was Professor Snape, but now you guys can go and take Weasley with you. And they fight for that book, remember?
Right, that's right.
Yeah, and Harry just slams it when he gets the beat up one. I mean, it was cool little parts like that. They was kind of like, it looks like they're having fun again for a little bit.
Yeah,
and it was, I liked it a lot. The Snape reveal,
mm-hmm.
It was like,
that whole thing is great.
Yeah, like this guy is like way more powerful than we thought. You know,
definitely up there.
Sorcerer's Stone probably be my second. Order of the Phoenix probably be my third. I love Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, that one's solid because that's the Dumbledore and Voldemort fight.
And everyone, like, Neville starts getting his confidence in that movie. You know, Luna becomes
the whole
really
Dumbledore's
important.
army thing is forming them. Now it's like, okay, now we've got to be ready to fight. You know,
Luna's the one that kind of tells Harry, like, you know, you by yourself, you know, I wouldn't be afraid of you.
Yeah.
You know, but you with other people, then,
Right.
You know, it's kind of like her that's always putting, like, those words in his head, you know, where sometimes he acts stupid. Like, no, this is my fight.
Yeah.
In my fight. Motherfucker, you know, this is Voldemort.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, you need all your, you know.
You need as much help as you can.
And that is Harry's greatest strength is his relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that has always been, yes, of course he's brave, and yes, he's courageous. Because it's like, you know, we all have talked about this. It's like, Harry is not an exceptional wizard. He's
never
like,
really seemed like it.
Kind of average at best. But he's...
Like, it seemed like Hermione's stronger.
Oh, yeah, no, she's like vastly better, especially like at spells, potions. Like, she's more learned.
Yeah.
Well, she's always reading, so...
Yeah, but what makes Harry over is, again, the courageousness, the...
Now, is it because of Harry, or is it because of Voldemort? That's in him, remember?
That's interesting.
Like Dumbledore kind of points out in Chamber, he's like, you have many of the same characteristics as him.
Yeah, and some of the things that maybe allow you to be...
Yeah, but Sirius tells Harry that he's not Voldemort. Like, you can choose to be who you want to be.
Right.
Oh, and then the fight thing, too, in Half-Blood Prince, you know, like you said, Dumbledore, Voldemort, you kind of see, like Voldemort's like, holy shit. You know?
I like when fucking Fudge comes out and he's like, he's back.
Yeah, it's like a hard flex in that one where you're seeing, because all this time too you're kind of feeling like, why is Voldemort, like a fully fledged wizard, having a hard time with Harry? But it's because of that bond or whatever. But it's like, dude, like, this shit is like... So then when he's up against Dumbledore, which you kind of been dying to see, and you're like, oh man, it's like they're really working the magic there, and it's that shit's badass, man. You kind of say, you got to remember, in this whole time you're just watching these like students. You know what I mean? They've got to like say their spells out loud. They've got to like do this shit with their wands. It's almost like they're, you know, Dumbledore's doing magic without even needing to kind of just, he's just conjuring, like, just thinking.
I think my brother says too that they're kind of the wizards that don't need the wands. He said, and it was that little detail, like you were saying, that kind of pissed him off. Yeah. He goes, in the book, they're not really using the wands.
Right.
And here he goes, they're using the wands, and he was like mad too because he says that in the book, it seemed like Dumbledore is like really on Voldemort. Where in the movie, it makes it look like they're even.
Yeah.
You know, but he was like, in the book, he was like, Dumbledore is like overpowering Voldemort bad. Like real bad.
What's really interesting about, you know, we just saw the most recent one, right? The Fantastic Beasts, and of course you get the young Albus Dumbledore played.
It's great. Jude Law was great.
He was fantastic.
I saw him in the second one, and I just loved him. I was like, this guy's perfect for Dumbledore.
I mean, perfect. I'm like, it's such a shame that we're hearing now that I guess because these Fantastic Beasts movies didn't do that great, that there were going to be no more. But I mean, I just want more Jude Law Dumbledore. But again, look at what happened with us with Star Wars, right? You know, eventually, you know, despite all the bad things that were said, now time later has passed.
Maybe it's because it's under a Fantastic Beasts title.
Yeah.
That's kind of driving people away.
You know.
Like I said, that first one was kind of hard for me to get through.
See, but what I think a lot of people don't realize that haven't seen like the new ones is that there are lots of things in not the new ones, but in the Fantastic Beasts ones, and it gives you stuff from the Harry Potter ones. You know, it gives you things, and you're just like, oh, okay, like that's cool.
Well, that's what makes it very gratifying. Is because I was telling people,
I love part 2 more because it was like Grindelwald.
Yes.
I was like, you had been hearing about Grindelwald so long in the Harry Potter universe. I was kind of like, oh, now we're gonna see how bad this motherfucker was. Yeah. You know, there is like everyone's like, man, there hasn't been a bad wizard like Voldemort since Grindelwald. And you're like, wow, and you know, you hear Dumbledore took him down, and you're like, wow.
And that story is prominent in the books, where you're like, man, but there's no time for that in the movies. Although I felt like they could have done a lot with Deathly Hallows Part 1, because that one I don't love.
It's heavy in that one though,
but
they're backstories. Yeah. No, but I mean, it is heavy on the Dumbledore Grindelwald story.
Yeah,
the symbol.
The Deathly Hallows.
The Deathly Hallows symbols, you know.
Which I'm telling you, we didn't talk about, but your tattoo, you love it so much. You have the Deathly Hallows tattooed on the back of your arm, which is very cool. Very nice. You know, which is a great story too, right?
Yeah,
from, Tales of Beetle the Bard.
I love that Hermione tells it too.
Yeah, the way she tells it.
And I love that. I love that animation in that scene too.
I do
so
too.
Cool.
Yeah, that animation is really awesome.
And she tells it so hauntingly. Like I think about it, I get kind of goosebumps. But yeah, I mean, it's fantastic that story. But yeah, I mean, like you do get some more of that in these Fantastic Beasts movies because. Again, all we know about Newt Scamander and the Fantastic Beasts is that he was this guy that liked, the magical animals, and he wrote Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Yeah, Newt Scamander, whatever. So these stories that they wrote, and there's really cool things that they show in them, like they come to America and they meet the American Ministry of Magic, and then it's like they travel to other places and you see different other ministries of magic.
French Ministry of Magic, and like you don't think about that there's so many
right.
It's
what they haven't shown us is like the American Wizarding School and like what other country. I mean, they've showed us like Durmstrang, and then they showed us like the Beauxbatons, which you kind of get is like Germany and France in a way, so it's like we know those schools are there, but it's like we haven't really seen the American school like where wizards are, but we could. But they do such a great job in these Fantastic Beasts. We're talking about like they talk up Dumbledore so much. But Amy was asking me, she's like, when did they really establish it? I'm like, you don't really see that where he like rises to where he's so thought of in the wizarding community like that. It's almost to me like Maverick, like when Maverick pretty much is the top pilot at Top Gun and he decides to teach. That's almost like what Dumbledore did. He's like the top wizard in the world in a sense, but he's choosing to teach at Hogwarts.
With Grindelwald, that probably said them. They probably had the huge battle that was probably like power that no one has ever felt before. Well, because I heard they really, when they're teenagers, they really dig deep into the magical stuff, right? Like,
yes,
they really go deep in how to get stronger.
Well, and that's what causes Dumbledore's sister's death. Is the
accident
with Grindelwald. Right. So it's like which they kind of like. It's not. All Grindelwald's fault is kind of part Dumbledore's fault
which is always haunted him.
It is always haunted him, So
remember the ring,
right?
That's why he put it on. Like Snape's like, how could you do that? Like you're supposed to, like it was almost like you're smarter than this.
Yeah.
Why you put it on the curse ring?
But nobody knows that story.
Right, exactly, and they don't really get to flesh that out.
But still, even Snape's still like, why'd you put it on the fucking Voldemort's ring, you idiot?
Yeah, but too, you also feel like Dumbledore has this deeper like connection with magic almost.
It seems like
there's
right?
something more that he gathers, and again, it's respected throughout all the wizarding community because they're already calling him like in those old ones the Fantastic Beasts the great Albus Dumbledore. So it's like he's known. So of course, I always dig that when there's like it's a good guy, but he's the top power. So and then he just seems to know so much. But I really love those first two movies because it really is the introduction of Harry Potter. Like there's so many things.
A really good job.
Yeah, it's not a fantastic job. No,
you're kind of into the story.
I feel like those were like shorter ones, right?
They are. Like talk about great editing though, because you get a lot. Because you get like okay, you learn about Quidditch, you learn about brooms flying, you learn about potions. Like you've got to get. He's got to give you an origin of wizarding and the wizarding world. Fairly quickly.
And even like Hagrid telling, him about Voldemort, about, what he did, the crimes he did, about his parents.
Right.
You're like, damn, holy shit.
And here's the thing is that let's take out the Voldemort story. Let's just be like Harry's a kid that finds out he's a wizard. Those movies are still fun just like that. Yeah. Like, learning about Polyjuice Potion, learning about like, getting to eat at that big hall or whatever, and the food. You're like, wow, like this is, if it would have just been a story about a kid that's a wizard and he's learning how to become a wizard, it's still pretty great. But the Voldemort story obviously amps it up, like you create this villain or whatever.
How do you feel about him? Because for a while he almost replaced the Emperor as like the big bad for a while.
Pretty villainous, and I think again, I don't.
And
know
there's nothing good about him.
No,
he's like the Emperor, all bad.
Yeah, there's no redeeming qualities. Yeah, no, nothing whatsoever.
All about how to
and
survive.
Me, I'll give some people a couple of chances.
Darth Vader,
Negan, Darth Vader, but I was like, no, not Voldemort. Like, I mean, I don't,
because there is nothing. It's like the Emperor.
The only thing I love about him is hating him. Yeah. I love to hate him. Like, I want him to be defeated. Like, my favorite fucking thing from that trailer for Deathly Hallows Part 2 is when Harry grabs him and he's like let's finish it how it began, together. And goes off the cliff. And I remember seeing that and being like, oh my god, I gotta watch this movie. This shit is so fucking fire. Like I was like,
my favorite interaction between Harry and Voldemort is when Voldemort's like in him. I think it was it Goblet after Dumbledore and Voldemort are fighting. I really love when he tells him what he tells him. Like, I feel sorry for you because you'll never know love.
Oh, Half-Blood.
Half-Blood. You'll never know friendship. I'll be getting emotional. Like, I love that part. I love that he tells him that because it's so true.
When they said Ralph Fiennes was going to be him, I was like, oh man.
I love him.
I was
He's a
super
great actor.
excited because I already knew he was gonna bring Voldemort to life.
Like in the Red Dragon himself, man, dude.
Not even that, but I was even thinking like Schindler's List too.
I never seen that one.
But he's fucking
Sorry.
dark in that movie.
Hey, that should be on our list of like, you know what? I was like, oh, I'll watch it with you, and I was like,
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
I will watch it with
I'm
you
sure
if you want to
he's
see.
done
I
that.
own that. I'll watch it with you if you want to see. And,
It's a hard movie.
And he's. You think you hate him as Voldemort, and I'm like, fuck. He's like a real fucking bastard.
That's
man.
why it was weird to see him in the Bond movies when he was like the new M. It was kind of
Yeah,
like, oh wow,
that's
you're actually a good guy.
Anytime he's kind of a good, because I think he's a good guy in like the Kingsman shit or something.
Yeah,
like that,
the Kingsman
isn't he?
too. Yes.
Which I haven't seen all those, but I mean, like
The
you
first
know,
one's
it's
good. I haven't seen the next
I
one.
think I've seen the first one.
Yeah, but I mean, I love him in Red Dragon, and just that scene with him and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, he's telling him off, and he's like, "Open your eyes, or I'll staple them to your." Like he's like not shouting, but he's just very like
very menacing.
very menacing. Yeah, when he's
Well,
like,
he looks like he's a big guy.
yeah, I don't know if he is. Is he a big guy, Double A? Or they make him look big.
He may look big.
They shoot a lot of shit since they shoot like
Let me
low. Well, because like Tom Hardy's not big,
Yeah,
but they make him look big
Yeah.
as
he's
Bane.
like
You know what I mean?
5'6".
Yeah. But they'll shoot you low a lot, you know what I mean? And yeah, so man, Ralph Fiennes is
When
Voldemort.
he was Cassie, I was like,
so
wow.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for a while we're
5'11".
seeing. Oh,
Okay,
that's not
okay.
It's big
pretty
ish, you know. Yeah.
That's big for me. He's not
Yeah.
as tall as Liam Neeson, but
Oh
I
no,
just saw a
Yeah.
picture of them
He's like
together.
6'6"
Yeah,
or
but that's what I'm
6'7".
saying. See, when you talk about when I think about big guys, I think about like Ben Affleck. We all know he's like 6'4", 6'3". Yeah. Will Smith.
But
is
it's like
pretty
you
big
said,
too,
they look tall in the movies.
But those guys are tall. It's like other times they shoot you tall. They make you look tall or whatever.
Shoot
In fact,
from way back.
they'll have one guy like stand on something if he's in a scene with another guy and they're similar heights, so that they're showing the difference or whatever. Because you remember when Bane's talking to that one guy and he's like, "You think this gives you power over me?" And you're like, "Oh fuck, he's like really big." Like it's kind of
always make it look like he's big.
Yeah. Which in the comics he is a giant. Big fucking type.
But I think Christian Bale like towers over probably Tom Hardy most likely.
Really? Is
Most
he tall?
likely.
I don't know if he's tallish or whatever.
I think he's 6'1".
Javier Bardem looks taller to me. I wonder if he's taller.
He probably is.
He also
He
looks
does
like a
look
big
tall
guy
too,
too.
yeah.
He looks like he's stocky. But okay, so go around again. It's his favorite Harry Potter movie. Give me one. That's like you can go to pop it in.
That's the one that every time that it's on, that you're just like, okay, I'm dropping the remote.
It's hard for me to think about it too. You know what I mean? Really.
Mine's Half-Blood.
Okay.
Mine's Half-Blood
Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah, because
Okay.
like I said, I just love it. And, you know, the backstory of Snape, him testing out the spells. You know, what's his name? The new professor that comes along. I liked his character a lot too. The one Slughorn.
Yeah, Slughorn?
I loved him.
Or
you know?
Mad Eye Moody.
No, not Moody. It was
Okay.
Slughorn.
Yeah.
I liked him too.
Is he
goofy.
Is he from something else you like a lot
Well,
too? I think he is.
The only ones I can think of right off the bat is because my wife is Bridget Jones.
Okay. Because I was like, he's not Bilbo, right? In the originals, no, right?
No.
not
That's a
it.
guy from Aliens.
Okay,
I forgot his name.
Right. Yeah. Sis, unless you have one off the top of your head, I'll go.
Go ahead.
I would probably say it might. I try to think of the one I've seen the most, and it probably is Goblet. I think I've seen Goblet the most, but it's not necessarily my favorite because there's like other shit that happens in other ones that I like better.
Well, why Goblet then?
Maybe that's because when we do kind of see Voldemort like emerges and like they meet in the graveyard and it's
That
like
is
that's when he's already like.
That's a great scene.
Yeah, and
Him,
it's it's like everyone was kind of trying to keep fucking Harry quiet, and then it's like, nah, it ain't quiet no more. Like it's out now. And then it's like, then we go right into Order of the Phoenix, right? It's 5.
Yes.
And that's when you're getting like Dumbledore's
That's when
army
you
or
get the big
whatever.
battle, yeah.
Right, and you get that big battle, which is like pretty cool, you know?
Yeah, and you get Bellatrix.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but so many great characters. Like my mom is like a huge fan of Dobby. Like she loves Dobby. Like she's,
Dobby.
Yeah.
and this is the hugeness of this franchise, right? Where it's permeated the culture. Where like we all know who Dumbledore is. We all know things like that. Like again, I'm talking about my mom. You know, my 66-year-old mom. You know, knowing who Dobby is. You know what I mean? Like, dude, when Hedwig dies, it's like I was like. Even when Dobby dies, I was like, "This shit is the fucking worst." Like I was like,
I might have been more sad about
"Fuck."
Hedwig.
I was pretty sad about both. Like I was like, man, this is fucked up. Like
I know. I was like, why you do that? Like, why?
we didn't even talk about George and Fred.
Yeah, I love
You
that.
know? I mean, like that one was
That one
like
was really hard for me too.
whoo, too. I was like, man, it's just fucking because you love those side characters as much.
But my wife asked me. She goes, how were they able to afford to have the store? Because and the last one you see them, they drop out of high school.
That's right.
Well, they were selling all that shit to all the kids at school.
Well, then I read that I think it says in the book that Harry since he won the goblet, that it was like a prize money, and he said, "Here, you guys do it."
Oh my gosh, I love that.
What the fuck? That's fantastic.
And he goes, "Here, I don't want you guys. I don't want you guys pay me back whenever here. You just open the store."
He had plenty.
He goes, "We need more laughter. You guys open your store."
Damn, is that in the books?
I think so. And
it's
always kind of like,
because you're right, they do show that they have their own store.
Yeah,
they have the big Disney on top.
Yeah, so that's why they always say, whenever Harry wants, he gets, and that's why, like with Ron, they're like, they're still charging him like full price. Mm-hmm. They still sell. They sell Ron, full price.
Well, I think
you full price.
And this beer sat in water long, so it got rust a long time. I want to make sure I don't get myself fucking lockjaw when I'm drinking it.
But that was a cool story. I love Fred and George.
Yeah,
man, it was heartbreaking when I did read the book. I was like, oh man, they killed one of them.
Fred that dies, right?
Okay, I was like, damn it.
Hey, so can I tell you my Harry Potter fan fiction right now? We'll reveal it here. I think I've told it to you before. Right, that George goes into a tailspin in my fan fiction. George goes into a tailspin after Fred's death, and secretly, inwardly starts to blame Harry that it's all your fault coming into our life. Then he starts to study the dark arts. And adult horror Harry has to go hunt George, and that Ron is like, don't go after my brother, or it's going to come between me and you. But then you've also got Ginny there being like,
forget it.
He's, we've got to take down George at this point because he's gone mad with, Because I'm like, damn, what if Voldemort is the be all end all? It's like, fuck, we got no more good stories. So I'll give you this good story. J.K. Rowling, that one's for free. I'll give you that on me right there. Holla at your boy, give me a little bit of kickback on that one. But you guys know that would be a great fucking. That'd be like, damn, that's fucking dark.
No, that's too much. I mean,
dark good.
Yeah, a lot of dark shit already happened that we talked about. Did we just not talk about Hedwig and Dobby dying? I mean, like that was like, what the fuck, man? I mean, shit was fucked up. What about Hermione erasing her parents' memories of her?
That sucked.
I mean, like they never retcon. They never say that she makes that right. It's just like that's it.
I'm sure she does because her and Harry get married. Like Voldemort's gone. I mean,
you mean her and Hermione and Ron get married? Yeah.
Sorry.
But I just mean like, damn. I mean like, she's trying to protect them.
Yeah.
Erase your fucking family. That's some fucking No Way Home shit. You know what I mean? Peter Parker's like, fucking forget about me.
Well, yeah, and then the scene when she's doing it, she's all crying. I'm like, I cannot.
I'm telling you. Okay, so give me your favorite movie. God, you have time to think.
So my favorite movie is probably The Prisoner of Azkaban.
The Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah, with
Sirius Black. But it is really hard to choose because
it is.
There are so many aspects of each of the movies that I really love. I'm sure we all really love.
Yeah.
And it's hard to pick just one.
Maybe she had Lockhart. Help her with the memories.
I remember for the longest time your brother your brother Will calling your brother Boy that Gilderoy Boyhart, which again is Kenneth Branagh, who is
great.
And he's a fantastic director too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
fantastic director, great, and did some Hamlet, right? He did, he delivers that one speech that is so amazing. Once more into the breach,
which I actually
you're like shit, you get chills.
Which I actually thought he was a perfect choice for the first Thor movie.
Oh yeah,
because if you look at those Stanley Jack Kirby ones, it's very Shakespearean.
Which is that one's underrated. That is underrated, and that's the Thor you love. That Thor, which is a badass Thor, the Viking Thor. Yeah.
I really love the Deathly Hallow ones though because it gives you that's a whole new story. Mm-hmm. You see it.
I don't like part one because when I read that book,
bleak.
When I read that seventh book before I saw the movie, I was like, man, they're in the forest like a long time. Like it's kind of hard to get to. Like it's a lot.
For me, it was just kind of. No, I actually thought it was actually post-pounding because it's kind of like they're on the run.
Yeah,
because now everybody's after them.
Yeah, Hermione has to do these spells all the fucking time to protect her and Harry because they got everybody looking for her.
I love that too because I love that aspect because that's showcasing she's the
brains of the operation.
Well, she's the best wizard.
I like
that aspect.
I fell in love with Hermione a lot because of that one because it was like she really was protecting Both of them.
Yeah, and I really
lot.
like that it tests the boundaries of their friendship.
Oh, man,
because they
yeah,
have to
that
have
too.
that fucking locket, and Ron's
Yeah,
all like,
yeah, it
"I fucking
starts-
know," and then he leaves.
It starts eating.
and you're like,
bad.
wait, what's going on? Where's he gonna go?
And
Like,
then
you can't
like,
go
even
home.
how it affects Hermione too. Like Hermione breaks out here and there, you know, because Ron's not there. You
Yeah,
know? I
yeah,
mean,
because she's
golly.
like, I guess at this point you're like, okay, like she really like cares about him and loves him. And,
like there is that small part where like her and Harry are dancing and laughing, and it's
I love that. Oh, that
And
part
even
is
then,
like,
I'm pretty sure a lot of people were
but
thinking like,
you can
oh,
tell-
it's gonna be them, but
you can
I
tell
didn't
she-
feel that way.
No,
I felt that
no,
it was more
like
of,
him trying to pep her up a little.
like,
bit.
hey, like it's okay. He'll come back
He'll
and we'll
come
find
back,
him. You
yeah.
know,
right.
Like,
They were,
that's just,
and in that part, it's kind of like here's two like what 17-year-old kids
know.
that are best fucking
Best
friends.
friends.
It's not nothing sexual. Like,
Nothing.
No, it's just like, man, I'm just being here for you, man, because like it's
because
like,
he knows
this shit is rough.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like they're missing school because all this shit's fucking happening.
And they
there.
have
yeah,
so
school's not
much
even
that-
there. Like,
yeah,
school's like
Yeah.
exactly.
being overrun by Voldemort's
fucking
people.
Snape.
Mm-hmm.
Which they said he was actually there to protect the students.
Right.
Right. He was
Right.
acting like an asshole, but he was actually protecting the students at the same time.
Yeah, because Umbridge is still there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh man, she's like full-fledged fucking Voldemort.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like, man, her colors didn't
I
didn't
cannot
come out. You know,
stand
came
that
out.
No,
bitch.
I
She got
cannot
taken
stand that
away.
bitch either.
I was like,
yeah.
thank God.
I'm like, man, some people needed to get Dementors
Damn.
on their asses
Man, for
quick,
real.
man. Okay, let's,
But that first one though, like I said though, I mean, it's kind of like it's bleak.
Mhm.
You know, the on the run, and
yeah.
it's not my favorite Harry Potter movie, but it's
I
intense.
still- yeah.
It's fucking intense though.
I still really
You
like
know-
that one because they're getting to the Horcruxes.
Part
already.
one.
Right?
You like part one,
Yeah,
okay.
and the second one, the
Yeah.
last one, because
Right.
you're finding out about the death.
Yeah,
of
like you
all
said,
those.
the whole, the all that stuff too. Like even like Luna's dad, like man, that's a great piece
Oh
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
where
fucking
he's
like, oh,
you can feel his
no,
pain because we
no,
probably
He's
would
like,
do that.
all
you know,
crazy.
we-
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know,
I'd be like, take his ass so I
they
can
have
get
my
my kid
Luna.
back.
Yeah, they have my Luna. And he was trying to
Yeah.
help him. He was trying to write the paper. Saying how Voldemort sucks. And all that stuff.
Yeah, but they
and,
got to his ass.
and
were
they
like,
got to him, and he
Yeah.
was like, he had no choice at that point.
Yeah.
And you can feel his pain. You can
His
really feel it.
anguish.
What a
You know?
great job too they do of we've touched on a lot of like side characters in it, but even like Harry's early nemesis at school,
Oh, man,
Draco
yeah.
Malfoy.
He kind of falls off bad in the movie. So
oh yeah, it makes you wonder like what job did Malfoy get in the wizarding community like as an adult? Like is he anything? I mean
Like he doesn't
yeah.
even seem like he's gonna like he never becomes like important like after.
Well, once really Voldemort arrives,
one?
yeah, once
I mean,
Voldemort really shows up, it's kind of like shit. There's
it was like
a
Harry
backseat-
kind of just like overlooked him, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's it's my
I got
turn.
bigger fucking
Yeah.
things to worry
Yeah.
about. Well, plus two, he seems kind of
Like
afraid
I thought he was going to
of
be the
that.
arch nemesis of Harry.
Mhm.
I honestly thought he was going to.
And
be
I
like,
think maybe there was a time in one of the movies that he was, but then like y'all said that there's bigger fish to fry, you
Yeah.
know, and then of course when Snape fucking kills Dumbledore, he's like, fuck everybody else, like I
Yeah.
just saw what I saw, you know what I mean?
Even like Crab and Goyle, they were
oh,
getting
man,
your
those could
brother.
become full on psychos.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
brother would often reference them
Yeah,
as
Rupert.
classic goons. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, here's a story I'll tell you guys. When I was working at Hot Topic as an assistant manager of a store downtown, I actually had that ruined for me by someone that had read the books,
Oh,
and
no.
the movies were like maybe in their fourth or fifth one, and we would always stock the merchandise of Harry Potter or whatever. And he was like, "Oh man, like some," and this guy was like the boyfriend or friend of one of the workers there. And he was like, "Man,
Classic.
I couldn't believe it when Snape killed Dumbledore." You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? And I was just more like, don't think about that. Push it out of my push it out. But in my mind, it burned in my brain because obviously he'd read the books, and eventually, I knew I was eventually going to come to that. But it was still cool because I didn't know how or why.
Yeah.
And then to learn the why is like, oh my gosh, it's so much more.
you
with
learn why.
Snape's
and you're just
reasonings and the whole.
But it's kind of
setup,
cool. It's smart on their part too, right? Because
Mhm.
like they both knew, like it was going to come down to Snape killing him. So that's why it was
Right.
like when they made that unbreakable vow, he was like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I got to do it anyways.
exactly.
Well, I think
Yeah.
Dumbledore also felt like, we're not gonna let this fucking guy kill me.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's
This
how
kid kill me. Like
Yeah.
I need it to be you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like, at
how
least
he was.
I know that you're doing it
so
because I'm
far
asking
ahead.
you, not
Yeah.
because you're doing it on your
That-
own
that's how
volition.
Dumbledore thought, though. He had he was
He
like
had a plan always.
he was several steps in front of his
Oh, yeah.
opponent. You know what
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean? So
Well, he was a smart wizard.
yeah, by far compared to fucking almost all of them.
Okay, what was the most heartbreaking death?
Well, for me, it was definitely
Serious.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of heartbreaking.
That one was that Sirius's death is pretty rough because because you just ready for like, oh, maybe this is gonna.
But like in Deathly Hallows too, it was kind of like man, Tonks and Lupin died.
Yeah, that's
true.
Because
I like Tonks, even though she was
fighting side by side.
Yeah, even though she was only in there a little bit, I like Tonks.
Wasn't she pregnant too?
No, they already had kids.
Yeah, she already had the baby.
Because in the book, Harry's their godfather.
Oh no shit!
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome. I forgot about that.
I mean, Fred dying, that was hard. The one death I don't like.
And that's why Molly wants her revenge. I mean, it's like
the one death I don't like, which I thought was kind of unnecessary, was that wolf dude eating Ron's ex-girlfriend. I remember when I felt bad. I was like, they didn't have to do that with her.
Lavender.
Yeah.
Wow, I fucking forgot she got ate.
Yeah, the wolf dude, the main wolf dude.
His stories.
I was like, man, that was ugly.
I felt like they were kind of trying to push his story into the movies.
I thought
it's much bigger. It's done better in the book.
Yeah, when it was like, man, this dude, he doesn't have a wand.
Greyback,
yeah. But there's
when it was like, he's not a wizard. Why does he have a wand in the movie?
No, yeah. There's a lot. There's
move like that.
There's a lot more focus on it in the book, and it makes more sense. But in the movies, it felt kind of forced. They could have just cut that out. Like you didn't have to go to that story.
What about the Snape death? Like when he's telling Harry to take the tears, and
I cried. I think I cry every time when I watch that.
I think Sam's about to cry right now.
I know. That's pretty rough, man.
I was trying to think who else died that I really loved, but
yeah,
take it.
But he dies ugly too. I was like, fuck, by Nagini.
Like Voldemort too.
That's not cool.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom.
But I do like that he redeemed himself to Harry.
Right.
In that moment, in the moment of his death.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid one. Yeah, I can see that getting. That's.
I was like, when I read it, and in the tears and everything, and all that stuff, I was like, oh damn,
Yeah, I mean Dumbledore too. Dumbledore.
Yeah, Dumbledore was shocking.
He hits the ground.
But, I
all the students are out there.
It was shocking, but I felt good when he came out in the seventh one.
When
Harry they're all like talking.
That's cool. Very cool. Yeah. It's a lot, right? Because it's like there's like heavy moments and throughout.
What about like the moment that made you like yeah, was there a moment like that for you guys?
Definitely when Molly's fighting Bellatrix.
That's a great moment.
You're like, hell yeah! Even though I loved Bellatrix because she was such a bitch.
Yeah, she was. Man,
that bitch is
Helena Bonham eats that roll up, man. I was like, oh my gosh.
She's the female version of Johnny Depp. I mean,
yeah, like I'm like you. I'm like I don't like you. Like I fucking hate you. A great moment would be like for me. Your guy Neville getting Nagini with the sword of Gryffindor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I was awesome moment.
I was gonna say that one, and two when he's standing up to Voldemort, and he pulls out the sword. Yeah, and I was like, man, fucking, he's the one that kind of starts.
That's like a Cap Thanos moment, right?
Right.
And he goes right up to him. You're just like. You're outmatched.
I love to like Voldemort's face, like when he's like, I have something to say, and Voldemort's like,
like this
okay.
All right.
And also the part I talked about when Harry is telling Voldemort, pretty much telling him off. I'm like, hell yeah, like tell his ass,
Yeah. That's great. Again, I mentioned it already too, but that moment too, let's just finish it how it began together.
That's a good
you know what I mean? You're like, fuck. That Harry's like. This is like so much balls right there.
Not just that, but it's a really great beginning and a really good end that you really don't get a lot of times. Like it was a really good ending. Like it was like wow, it was a hard fought battle. Like that was actually a war.
Yeah,
and they won.
I don't know, AA, if there is another set of movies, maybe aside from Star Wars, that my things. Can you rewatch it? And would I buy it? I own probably more than one copy of some of the same movie because I've got it on Blu-ray and DVD. So yes, I 100%. I would go buy a nice box set of all of the Blu-rays right now if there was one that was affordable that I liked and looked cool. So there's that and rewatchability. Like us just talking about it makes me want to go watch some of the ones I don't remember as well at the moment, whatever. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about all these great moments in this one. How many times is there a series of movies? What is there? 8 movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they split Deathly Hallows.
The 7th one, yeah.
They're all rewatchable? That's fucking, like, a lot.
Yeah, because there are a lot of good parts in each movie where you're just like, oh, I like that part. Let me put it down real quick.
And I feel like it's also, like, because the movies are so long and there's so many, you're not gonna catch everything the
The
first, second,
no,
or third
it's
time.
like you need to rewatch them.
It's like Game of Thrones almost.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is like Game of Thrones. Like when I rewatched it the first time, so I think I watched it all together 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
When I rewatched it the second time, I had totally forgotten about some of the things that happened in the first fucking season, in the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Because it's so long,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we had to wait so long the first time to watch the second season.
Like
and
a
the third
year, you're waiting like a year. Like back in the day, like you didn't wait that long for a show. You didn't wait like a whole year because like you're fucking. It doesn't make sense. You'd be like,
Yeah.
"What? I fucking."
You kind of forgot, right?
Right,
It's like,
yeah.
damn.
And especially when you're not doing recaps, like I need a little
But
bit
then
of a
you
recap.
see it and
you
you're
know?
like, fuck, that I forgot that happened.
And that probably
Like,
makes
I didn't
other
do that
parts
again.
better. It makes it like hit harder. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, I mean, like Star Wars, right? Okay, I can rewatch any one of them, even the bad ones. Like me personally, like I mean, like I said the other day, I was just
What are
like
the bad
thinking,
ones? I like them all.
well, Double A has strong opinions about the new trilogy
Oh, okay.
with Rey. You know what I mean? And that's okay.
Oh.
I mean, like but me, there's still things about them that I'm like, I like these things.
I mean, it's a Star
You
Wars
know?
movie, but I don't know if I...
or like, did you like Solo? Like, do you watch Solo a lot?
No. I mean, I'll watch it if it came on TV, but am I going to
Yeah.
be like, hey, let's put Solo on?
It's just like off your radar or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like we'll watch Rogue One like a lot. Like I can watch it like a
See,
lot.
and
I
like-
don't because I don't want to cheapen it, but I can watch it a lot. The other 6, yeah. I mean, like as people said that the beginning of episode 1 is like slow and boring. It's like I'll watch it because there's little nuanced things that I like about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like plus it's like I know all the beats of that movie. Like it's like I know what's gonna happen next. So that's what I mean. It's kind of rare that there's a lot of you decide to push a franchise past 3 movies, and it's like how is it going to be? Is it going to be rewatchable? I had a talk with Aaron B the other day. We were talking about because he was actually saying that. Have you seen A Walk Amongst the Tombstones?
I have not
With
seen
Liam
that
Neeson?
one. No.
He says he actually likes it better than Taken. He's like, it's a better story. And I said, you know what, Aaron, you like these movies that are kind of rooted in reality, like mob movies, stuff like that. I was like, I never hear you talk, and you like shoot 'em up, so you never talk about John Wick. He goes, hey, he goes, I really feel as though the John Wick story is weak. He's like, there's not really great story in those John Wick movies. He's like, the plot's not good. He's like, it's a lot of the same stuff in each one. He's like, oh, the action is great.
Well, no, and like in the John Wick movie, it is just one story, really.
Mhm.
It just carries over into part
the
2.
other
It
movies.
carries
I like
over,
the John Wick story.
and it carries over to part 3. It's still part of that same story.
I like the initial story.
I think if you asked me, both of you right now, what's the plot of those movies, I'd be like, I don't really know what the plot is, but John Wick is kicking a lot of ass, which is cool.
Everyone cheapens it and says it's because they kill his dog.
Yeah.
It's the meaning of the dog.
Right.
It was the last gift his wife
gave him.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was already retired. Like, he wasn't trying to fucking do... He was already done
So when
with
you
that
kill
life.
that, it's kind of like you're killing the last part, the last thing
And
of
it was
his life.
unnecessary. Like,
Right.
well, because I didn't want to give you my fucking car. Like, really?
Yeah. So that all seems random in the first one or whatever, but then like the second
But
story
it's
is
not,
like
though.
it's like
Yeah.
the dad now of that guy, which is great. What's his name?
You talking about Taken? Or?
No,
Wick?
back in
John
Wick,
Wick.
yeah.
Oh, when one of the
Yeah,
house
because
members.
it's Theon,
comes
right?
in.
It's great.
Right.
Theon is the guy,
Uh-huh.
right? And so it's like then in the second one, it's the dad getting the revenge.
No.
Trying to go after it?
No.
No?
He ends it in the first one.
Okay.
The second one, the guy who I guess helps him, complete that last mission.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how he tells him like I gave him an impossible task.
The old man, right?
Yeah, remember-
which is the dad from Hot Rod, right?
But remember when he says I gave him an impossible task?
Yeah.
Well, apparently that dude who comes looking for John apparently helped him somehow to accomplish that mission so he can go away.
No, in
So
the
he can
second
retire.
one, it is the dad. Right?
No, he kills the dad in the first one.
Yeah, because that happens. He gets the guy quick, and then the dad comes after. I do remember now.
Okay.
Yeah. And now we're wait. As Jerry says, it wouldn't be a podcast without
Trailing off?
veering off topics. We are not talking about John Wick tonight. We're talking about Harry Potter.
I do love John Wick, though.
All right, so do you guys have
They're
like a
fun
favorite?
movies.
They are.
Yeah, they're fun movies.
They're good action
no
movies.
disrespect to them. I mean,
he does kick
I
ass.
like them. You know what I mean? Like, I have to admit though, I don't rewatch much.
That
as other
trilogy
people.
has been a lot better than the Matrix.
I haven't seen
trilogy.
the... Oh, damn. I haven't seen the last one, though, but I'll get around to it.
But all of them are not better than The Matrix.
Not the first one.
The
No,
first
that
one
first
is,
one.
is a real masterpiece. In my opinion.
Machines.
Just like the Harry Potter movies.
Exactly. As we called out a callback. You guys have like a favorite like spell, something like that you.
The spell.
Wait. Did I get your moment? You talked
Yeah,
about our
I
moments
did.
we liked. What was your moment that
Neville?
you said?
when he pulls out the sword.
Yeah, with Sword Nagini. Yeah. That's a great moment, right?
Yeah,
It really,
when he's just like up
when
there.
you first said it, it standed up in my head.
When he's just up
like,
there with Voldemort. Like, he's like, fuck you.
Because you don't expect it from him. And then, how about how sad his story is? Voldemort killed his
Bellatrix.
parents.
No, it was Bellatrix that tortures him.
Yeah, tortures his parents. Yeah, Cruciatus curse. Yeah. I mean, like, so he's got skin in the game.
Because he was supposed to be a part of that prophecy. Mm-hmm. Remember, it was like, it was either going to be him or Harry that's going to be the one.
Yeah, he's as tragic. His story's as tragic as Harry's. In many ways.
I mean, their parents both got killed.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
It's fucked up. So,
but Neville rises. He actually becomes, I think, a better kind of leader. Because it says in the Deathly Hallows, he's the one that's kind of doing the guerrilla warfare.
That's right.
In Hogwarts,
that's
remember?
Right.
He's kind of like doing spells here and there.
Yeah, so. That is true. Very cool.
Yeah, because Crabbe and Goyle become complete fucking psychos.
Right.
They're totally immersed into Voldemort's whole thing.
Yeah.
Where Draco's kind of like iffy. Them two are loving it. They're loving being fucking Voldemort's people.
Yeah, being fucking henchmen and shit. But no, yeah. So, is there like a favorite spell? A part of the magic that you really like enjoy?
So I really wish that they would have done more spells in the movies. I wish that they would have used more of their wands and more spells, but a favorite one?
Like casting, like, well, I always like, the Patronus because what it's got, it's supposed to be
the
something
weapon.
that
their main weapon.
Right. You can deflect the Dementors with that.
Yeah, the Dementor.
I always think of Harry in that. I like is that in
that's Prisoner.
Prisoner, right? Expecto Patronum.
Yeah, and, that's a good one.
And he's telling Hermione, it was a stag. It was my dad, and he's like, no, it was me. Like I kind of love that, although it's nice to think that it was his dad, but then he realizes no, it wasn't. It was my own self, which is like fucking pretty rad because it's like kind of like again it buys into the whole like build yourself up.
I like the whole scene, and I kind of like the idea of the liquid luck.
Yeah.
Like I like that
Felix,
whole scene.
Yeah, that's cool. I dig that. I mean, like even something like polyjuice potion, like that's neat, right? Imagine drink something and become someone else for a day or whatever.
Yeah.
What would you learn? What could you do? I mean, there's so many fun things like that. A Skelegrow. I could take some Skelegrow. I mean, again, it's like, we talk about world builders like George Lucas, like Stan Lee. It's like J.K. Rowling is there. Now, I will say this. I know she's been in trouble lately for things she says or whatever. But here's the thing about something when you build something that great. Obviously, George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney for $4 billion. But it when you create something that outgrows you, that's pretty amazing. The fandom has carried on. There are people like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau that love Star Wars so much that they will do everything to protect it and keep it fucking awesome. You know what I mean? It's like, thank you for giving the world this, and now let it continue to grow. Right. And I think that's what's happening with
Mandalorian, Boba Fett.
Right? Yeah. When it comes
all
to Star
the new
Wars
series, Obi-Wan series, now.
Oh, I can't wait.
What people are doing with Marvel, the people that, Kevin Feige, what he's doing with Marvel stuff. It's like, here it is. This is all there, whatever, laid out, but we're making it even, it continues to become robust.
You think like that, though, with this one so far? I mean...
Well, so what
with this one, it seems like they're kind of forgetting. The Fantastic Beasts movies, the first two did decent. Mm-hmm. They didn't do, like, Harry Potter... numbers, right? And then this third one is just not really catching at all.
No, I know.
Which I really like.
I know, and it's cool too. It's like it's Dumbledore. It's Dumbledore and Grindelwald.
It's like a story of Dumbledore, but I mean, like it came much later.
And we do lose Johnny Depp. The pandemic caused that.
But you think people? I mean, it seemed like people were really happy when Mads Mikkelsen got cast. It was kind of like people were kind of like. Oh, when Johnny Depp, but then it was kind of like when he got announced, it was like, oh,
yeah,
I feel like it was.
No spoilers because I hasn't seen it, but
it was an even replacement. Like,
when I heard that, I was like, great. Like we got cheated in Marvel that they used him early on as Caecilius in Doctor Strange because really he could have been Doctor Doom. Yeah. And he would have crushed it as Doctor, because he's fantastic in that movie. He's like one of the shining spots, and Jude Law is fantastic. But there is some story stuff that's kind of like the water's a little muddy for me. Where I'm like, this is like
maybe it's because they're not like. maybe it's because the Potter fans don't feel like, this is from J.K. Rowling. Maybe
Right.
they still want more from her.
But you're also maybe not as endeared to these characters.
And that's the other thing,
as
too.
well,
Because
Yeah.
these characters are like adults.
Yeah.
You know?
Now the magic shit is a little bit more badass. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, they're doing shit that like you think you would be doing if you fully knew what
Like,
you were.
see, for me, I'm not really big on that actor that plays Newt.
That Eddie Redmayne.
I really didn't get on.
I didn't really care for him in the first one.
And see, that's the thing that threw me off in the first one.
Like at the end of the first one, you're kind of like, okay, and then
Like,
the second one, I'm like, all right.
I like the dude from The Walking Dead more, the big dude.
Oh, I
love
love
him
Dan
more.
Fogler.
Yeah.
I love Dan Fogler.
The one that we're talking about?
Yeah,
Oh,
the baker. Yeah, I forget what his name is in the movie.
I can't think of
But I liked him more.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I loved him because he was like so funny.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
He really helps you get through the movies because
Yeah.
you're right. That guy that plays Newt, Redmayne, he's
just always like looking down and
yeah,
talking and
I-
mumbling. and
Well, I
if
think-
he's meant to be playing like this introvert that you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
get close to, it comes off.
It comes
through-
off like
I'm
that.
like I don't feel really endeared to you. You know what I mean? So,
But I like that about his character. I like that he was like there's a reason why Dumbledore chooses him to do the things that he chooses because he tells him like you don't do what others want or really what you want. You do what is right.
right.
You know,
Right.
because he's like.
But then it's such a big difference of lead actors, right? It's like Daniel Radcliffe did such a great job, even from the first one.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you fell in love with him. With Harry Potter, where Newt, you're kind of like,
Right.
I don't feel like you're
I
a
feel like he
strong
grows on
lead.
you.
Yeah, there's when you watch the
Like
Harry
Harry's
Potter
out
movies,
there. The
Yeah.
character of Harry Potter is like out there. Like you said, he's ambitious, he's courageous, he's brave. You know,
But I feel like Newt kind of does come out of his shell a little bit as the
There's some
movies are
moments,
progressing.
and you did, Amy did help me, when we were getting ready to go watch Secrets of Dumbledore because she was like, let's, rewatch the other two, and I pretty much
Which I hadn't
remembered.
rewatched them, and I rewatched them again with him.
I remembered the beginning of the first Fantastic Beasts pretty well, but when I said this started in the middle because I'll tell you, I'll know where like. I know till that I kind of forget it, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I did forget this pretty much this second half of the movie, or whatever." But then I was like, "All right, it's solid." But then I remember the end really well too, because I remember, Colin Farrell getting revealed, and it, the transformation into being Grindelwald at the end of the movie. You see that,
that's
and you're
right.
like,
Colin
"Oh,
Farrell's
yeah."
in there, right?
And by the way, so here's another thing that's weird. Speaking of the whole Johnny Depp thing, right? It's like I'm watching Colin Farrell as Grindelwald, but in disguise, right?
That's right.
In this movie, and I'm like, man, I fucking really hate Grindelwald, and I hate Colin Farrell's character. Now, of course, he only becomes Johnny Depp at the end. You see Grindelwald, but in the whole second one, I'm like, he's not as dislikable as he is in that one. And I'm like, is it because it's Johnny Depp? Like, because he's coming out very charming. He's not doing anything really villainous.
And that's the thing, though. It makes you feel like he's fighting for a cause,
right.
Well, he's trying to win over Credence.
Right.
And CM was telling me, he's like, yeah, but he was like, he knows about him or whatever. I was like, no, he wasn't there. He doesn't know that he was being Colin Farrell.
He saw Colin Farrell. He didn't see that when he transformed.
He didn't know that he was Grindelwald. Otherwise, he probably would have like, fuck you a lot sooner. You know what I mean?
Okay, so no, without any spoilers, but what I can tell you about the Secrets of Dumbledore is that when it's Mads Mikkelsen playing Grindelwald, now I'm like, now there's like another layer. Like, I was like, oh, this is like a cold, icy motherfucker. Like it's like this. Like now I'm like, now you're back to like that scary level that the Colin Farrell was playing you. But I have to admit, Johnny's version wasn't like that. Johnny's version was more like this kind of like a charismatic, like almost, like.
Were you guys okay with the transformation? Because obviously Johnny Depp's Grindelwald looks a lot different. Where
right.
Mads Mikkelsen looks more.
I kind of would have liked if they would have kept
the look,
the hair also,
and the eye. The eye.
Mads did have the eye, but
because we see Grindelwald in the Harry Potter movies for a little bit.
Yeah,
and it kind of looks like he might have
Mads
been like
does have
what
the eye,
Johnny
but
Depp
it's
would
not
have
as
been like.
distinctive as Johnny's was.
I mean, it was fine with me because again, Mads Mikkelsen puts just this another like it's very icy, like, and it's like like again, I don't really get that from Johnny Depp. Which me and Foxy Roxy, we had a talk the other day, and we were saying, can he really play bad guys? And she was kind of like, what she goes, when he's tried to go bad, it's not really successful for him.
Who's
because
that?
Johnny, because he is very like charming and like very like, he comes off a certain
I think
way.
he did good when
you
he was the demon barber.
We talked about that and we were like, yeah, but you're kind of side with him because he got fucked
of the
over.
Story.
Yeah, the real bad guy is the governor or whoever.
Yeah, Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Yeah. He's the real bad. You're almost like, you almost feel justified in his actions. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, okay, he's justified.
There's a Facebook user who's saying, who's the hottie in the middle?
Hey, there you go. And Facebook user also says, Johnny Depp? Question mark. So Facebook user, identify yourself before we use Polyjuice Potion to know otherwise. But yeah, no, so that's some good stuff. I mean, like, and here's another thing too, that when it comes to the Potter movies, I know we've mainly focused on the
Are you gonna watch the last one?
Yeah. Well, you guys can talk about it.
No. But what I just mean is that like,
it's really like those first two really did throw off Christina a lot.
Yeah.
So
she doesn't want to see the third one?
Yeah, because she's huge on the Potter movies. She loves the Potter movies, but the Fantastic Beasts ones kind of did throw her off like big time.
I think sometimes I also want to see everything like full circle. So.
I think it's just she like again she's just used to Harry, Ron, Hermione, and seeing those characters, the abundance of characters.
Yeah.
Where in these movies you're really focusing on 4 people. Yeah. Almost.
And it's way earlier, I do love every time they do go to Hogwarts. It's like they play the Potter music, theme, and you're like Hogwarts, like we're there.
Like, got me right away.
Oh, nice.
And the second one, I was like, this guy looks great. He looks great as fucking Dumbledore,
a young Dumbledore. It makes me sad that we're supposed to get 5. And we're not going to get the other 2.
Just the way he stands, the way he moves,
the way he talks.
The way he talks.
You can kind of see the Richard Harris Dumbledore in that one.
Yeah.
Not the other fucking dude.
Yeah, Michael Gambon. Yeah,
Arlene.
definitely.
It's Arlene.
Hey, what's up, Arlene? Welcome. We're glad to see you here on the show. You put something, but it didn't come out here. Maybe it was like an emoji or something like that. But we don't always see everything in this format. But we appreciate you being here. Arlene, what are your thoughts on Harry Potter and the Harry Potter franchise and what they call the Wizarding World now?
Yeah, the Wizarding World.
It's grown beyond. Yeah. It's not just always about Harry Potter. We've talked about it, Double A, me and Amy, that we would love to visit the theme park in Florida. The Buckbeak roller coaster, things like that. Drink butterbeer, again, that's what I mean. Like what those first movies do and establish so well is like not only do they establish this core group of characters that you love, but there's so many side characters. There's things that you learn about. There's goblins at Gringotts that handle the money. It's like we all know all this. That's how much it permeated. Again, here, and it was from the UK, and it was like obviously blown up over there. I mean, it made its way across the pond and has permeated American culture just as much. Maybe if not more. So we got a theme park here and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like it's pretty fucking huge. I mean, I would love to visit.
I would love to visit. I mean.
Rizzo says the dragon is so dope at Universal.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay, so Rizzo, you've been. Tell us if you have a story specific to visiting the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. We'd love to hear that. I think this is Arlene. She says,
I'm for the thought of wizardness, craziness, and cool stuff like wizard strip clubs, but slow background stories make me sleepy.
It's not for the weak-hearted.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. And there are some slow-moving parts in certain.
Yeah, and you really have to.
I wouldn't think anything like where people are like, "Man, this movie is kind of slow."
Oh yeah, no.
Like the Batman.
Look, I told Amy.
It was slow.
I told Amy Double A.
Sorry, Lings. I know you love Batman.
After watching, Fantastic Beasts and then Crimes of Grindelwald, and then like the next day we went to go see Secrets. I was like, oh, it was good that I watched them like this. I would not have rushed out to buy either one individually, but if they do a box set of these 3, I'll buy it.
And see, I do have the first one because I think that's why I saw the first one. I bought it on DVD.
Yeah.
So.
Do you revisit, or you just don't revisit that often?
Not that way.
We have so many apps now. I stopped buying DVDs.
Right.
But I did enjoy, Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. I did enjoy that part. I love that ending.
Yeah.
Where he has all the wizards together.
Yeah. I would have loved to continue to see Johnny Depp in that role, but I definitely love Mads Mikkelsen. I mean, I've loved him for some time now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm partially responsible for your love for him.
Probably. Well, you know, we first saw him in Casino Royale.
That's where I was like, oh man.
You know, but yes, it was Hannibal that truly made me really go over.
You know, I don't think I've seen any of the James Bond movies.
If you do see Casino, because he's good in that movie.
He's fantastic.
See Casino Royale. Yeah. He's really good in that movie.
I would say pick a Bond you like, watch that Bond's movies, and then you can go watch it. You know what? We have talked a long time about doing a Bond episode, which might need to be a multi-parter, I think. But if you ever want to go back and start over, we could go together, because it's like I've seen like Dr. No, but there's a lot I'm missing. I definitely missing.
Yeah, you see, like I've seen all of them, and Daniel Craig is not my favorite Bond.
Yeah, okay. And our dad has seen a lot of them too, and he'll tell you lots of stuff about, you know, what's good and what's bad, and they're fun. They're almost all a lot of fun. Talk about a series of movies that like has rewatchability, and there's a lot of movies that are great.
It's I know like that one has a lot.
I think about Star Trek that way sometimes, believe it or not. Yeah? The Star Trek movies are really gratifying, the Shatner ones, but I also really love the Next Gen cast.
Some of those are okay.
I even like the fucking one with the whales. Though I'm like,
no, that was actually entertaining. No, that was actually entertaining. Yeah.
I mean, I know you love Wrath of Khan. I mean,
I love Wrath of Khan.
That's the top of the Star Trek movies. That was the top one.
And then for me, it's the Chris Pine one.
Yeah,
the reboot.
You know, even the people that hated Benedict, as you know,
I didn't like that one either.
Oh, I thought that one was really fun.
I didn't like that one either.
The chase scene on the thing.
There's some cool parts, but I thought it was just lazy to do Wrath of Khan and just kind of
reverse it. Okay, I mean,
you know,
hey, at least he bothered to reverse it when he did. He was lazy in fucking Force Awakens. I was like, oh, this is lazy.
But I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like we're kind of going off again. Yeah, but it's kind of like, you know, JJ. It seemed like JJ had a plan for Star Wars, and then all of a sudden it was like, you know, I forgot the director's name for Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. He kind of did like his own stuff, and then it was like JJ had to come back.
Ryan something.
Yeah, and then, which I like some of his other movies. Mm-hmm. He's done a lot of other good movies, and then JJ comes back, and it's kind of like, forget about Last Jedi. you know, it's kind of like
I liked Last Jedi when I saw it, and I thought it was fine.
And then like the third Star Trek movie, I thought it felt like it was just a big episode. It didn't feel like a movie. It felt like an episode. So
that one might be but I think I own that too. I think because I'm like, it's just like a fun watch. Like I'm like, oh, this is. If you don't think about like any of the other series, like, oh, this is just like
maybe that's my problem. Then,
self-contained, and
maybe
it's
that's
like,
my problem.
Pretty solid. But a talk with your brother really helped me appreciate Last Jedi more, or whatever, you know, with Will. He was just kind of like pointing out to me, and I was like, "Oh,
we've had multiple conversations. I still feel the same about it."
Does he like it still?
He likes it. I just don't really care for it.
I mean, you know, I think he might have pulled some things out of it that maybe nobody else did.
The only scene I can watch over and over is just the Snoke scene when they fight.
Yeah, that's a highlight.
That's about like the only scene I can really take.
The Luke and Yoda stuff is cool.
Hey, even then he comes off as a bitch though. Luke. Like Yoda's all like destroying everything. He's like, "Fuck all these journals." You know?
Fuck.
Classic. Oh, Rizzo says.
He goes. It feels like you stepped into a movie. It's incredible, super fun. Damn.
Wow.
I enjoy Universal more than Disney World.
Nice.
Disney World has lost its magic with us.
Okay.
We're going to Disneyland for the first time later this year, so we'll see how that plays out.
Very nice.
I've had a bond before. Does that count?
Harley.
Or a band. A band.
Because we're talking about James Bond.
Okay.
Who's been bonded out before? Rizzo, that's awesome, man. I'd love to sit and chat with you just about your experiences there at the Wizarding World.
Damn.
But yeah, cool. We've been to Disneyland, but you were too young to remember. Yeah. Disneyland also, right?
Apparently too, but I was small too.
Yeah, and I was I was barely old enough to remember, and
I was probably got in for free.
Yeah, I killed a lot of brain cells since then. So
there's a cool picture of the Jaws that my brothers are on.
Nice.
You know, that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Nice.
They don't have that anymore.
Yeah, they don't have that. Yeah, but there's like this cool picture somewhere.
That's awesome to have that.
I think some collector owns the shark. I think I read something about that. Nice. Some collector owns the shark that was up there. So yeah. Yeah. Jerry said there wouldn't be a podcast without tangents.
We did that a lot.
So, I love that.
Me and Sabrina would.
I haven't watched it in a long time. I gotta watch it.
I know. Me and Sabrina used to.
Is that Finding Nemo? Yeah.
The three sharks that try to go vegetarian.
All right, guys, you're on the Hogwarts Express. You're on your way. The treat cart comes around. What are you guys getting off the treat
trolley.
cart? The trolley. Shit, help me out here. I'm an American, so it's a treat cart.
God damn Americans.
I know.
Real quick, Facebook user says Disneyland was cool. I did the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Wow.
Oh, very nice.
Damn.
Is that you, Holty? I know that John and Roxy visited Disneyland, I believe.
Disney.
So that's cool. I want to go to a big theme park, especially now. We've got, your daughter's young enough to, old enough to appreciate that or have a memory out of it. I think, Amy's son too, he would remember it.
Yeah,
I really would like to take it.
I was younger than 8. I was I think closer to 5. But she was in the stroller.
Sabrina would remember.
Yeah. Oh yes, it is John. Is it you, John?
Okay.
Yuppers.
So I don't ride rides, so I'll hold you guys' bags. But you're a ride guy? You're not a ride guy either.
No.
Come on, guys.
Ride guy.
If I'm
going to go all that way, I'm going to get on some ride.
I want to see the Star Wars part.
I want everybody. I keep telling people I want to go to that Simpsons land too.
Yeah,
I want to go to Moe's and drink a beer at Moe's, a Flamin' Moe's.
Right,
is that at Universal Studios? Where is that?
Yeah, I think
I'm always confused which one has which.
I don't know either, but I'd like to visit.
It's a Universal, but when it's funny, it's there, but now Disney does own it, so it's kind of weird.
Man, Disney is balling.
Disney owns everything. That's the king. The mouse is the king. So.
Except for Spider-Man.
Yeah, except for Spider-Man. Yeah.
Walt would be proud.
So wait, did you guys tell me what you get off the trolley?
The chocolate frog.
Chocolate frog,
you gotta
nice.
eat it before it flies.
You gotta eat it before it jumps away. Yeah.
Definitely not Birdie Bots.
I love chocolate
because as you can see here, they're still in
earwax.
Here. Oh no! Did you eat them?
I probably did eat one.
I couldn't.
I did have one that tasted like vomit, and I was like, "What?" So yeah.
Popcorn, probably.
Popcorn, okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's pretty good.
Those gummy worms that they had that Ron was eating looked good too.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what they had in the Sorcerer's Stone because that's the one where they really show.
Yeah.
Where he goes crazy.
No, the chocolate frogs and the chocolate frogs came with the
one,
cards.
Right? Yeah,
right. Well, yeah, because Harry's like, "We'll take the whole lot."
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, Dumbledore, I've already got 2."
Yeah, because Ron's all coming out with his sandwiches. He's like, "I got mine."
He's like, "I got you, bro. I got you." Yeah. Put away the sandwich.
Yeah. What an aspect of that story too, right? That they made Harry secretly rich,
Someone said, "What's the snack they had where they turned into animals?"
Oh shit. I don't remember that one.
Oh, that's when Nymphadora has it. They're eating at the table and... No, she's just doing magic, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Turned into animals.
Yeah, because she turns into something.
Well, because she does
She's changing her face.
Yeah, she does that.
That's a good one. Is that you, Arlene? Still let us know. Or
John, yeah.
Johnny, is that you? So let us know. Put your name at the end of your comments there.
Man, the food that in the hall.
Oh, man. And Ron's always tearing it up, right?
Oh, the breakfasts, they have the toast there, or they have chicken wings.
Ron can't wait to get to school. He's
Ron had that big old turkey leg that one day.
Man, we gotta fucking starve
They
at
have
home.
pudding.
Yeah, he's like, shit, I'm gonna eat here.
I think it's Johnny. He says,
no, that part. When they're having that cool moment, the boys. I think it's Goblet when they're making the noises.
Oh, when they sound like the animals, not turn into
that part.
Oh,
it's
okay.
right before the school starts, and they're just in their room. Is
it like it's like a chocolate or something?
It's something they're eating something, and they sound like elephants, a lion, and all that. It's just a really cool moment, between the friends,
fun, right? These movies are packed with so much fun stuff, fun moments, things that they do. I mean, riding a broom and playing.
Neville sounds like an elephant. Yeah, and Ron roars like a lion.
Hey, Arlene, now we can see your name. So I don't know if you're joining us now via the Facebook page, but wherever you're at now, we can definitely see your name clearly. So we appreciate you being here and your comments.
And she goes, "What kind of drinks y'all would name in the Wizarding world?"
Oh,
so you know how there's butterbeer.
Yeah,
we name
butterbeer is one I definitely wanted to try.
But what would we name our beers?
Let me see, or your drink, I guess.
Or
right?
drink.
Let's go with that. I would call it
Lumos Lemonade.
Lumos Lemonade. All right, all right. It lights you up. You be feeling lit after that.
It'd be like a one-hitter quitter.
How about the Aveda Cadavra shot?
I don't want that.
Comes out green, boom, puts you away.
No kidding, man. That's a strong shot.
Hey, well, they have shots right now like called like "Adios, Motherfucker" and "Liquid Cocaine" and fucking the Four Horsemen. They have a shot called "The Four Horsemen." I'm like, I mean, that's just telling you right there, you're gonna be not good.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
I don't want them motherfuckers coming. You know what I mean? So the Avada Kedavra shot would be what I would go with there.
She goes, I like the lemonade.
I know what you do, boo boo.
You got a drink idea, double A?
Drink idea. Ooh.
Some with a spell behind it, maybe.
Oh, one of the spells, going back to, was the stupefy one. That was cool.
Stupefy. Yeah, I always liked Accio too, right? Like Accio would make stuff come to you, would bring it to you.
Or what's the one when they you show your fear and then you change it? What's it called? What's that spell?
That's the Expecto, the Patronum. The Patronum.
Is it?
Expecto Patronum, yeah. That was what you were supposed to say, right? When you were facing... What was that? What did that spell do then?
It changed your fear to something funny.
Oh, the one from Prisoner.
Yeah, that's the Patronus. That's
no, it's not the Patronus.
It's not?
John? Someone!
Remember they have like one of the students is afraid of Snape. And he turns him into like where he's wearing like women's clothing.
Yeah, because they're doing like that's where they released the Boggart. The Boggart can show you what you're afraid of or whatever.
But they don't use the Patronus.
You think of your fear and then
he doesn't like he has to.
Someone.
You can look it up, stuff, but you don't have any answers.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
because like
very good. Thank you.
Lupin has to.
Right.
Bring out the Patronus when fucking Harry brings the Dementor.
The Dementor.
Maybe that's why I would name my drink. Here, the Dementor.
Ooh. I found some drink names.
That'd just be Wild Turkey. That'd just be Wild Turkey.
Yeah, no shit.
Death Eater Negroni.
Ooh, Death Eater.
These are actual drinks.
These are actual drinks.
That's cheating. But,
well, no, but I can't. It's cool that they have that. Unicorn blood cocktail.
Yeah, because we only really get to hear butterbeer. We don't hear what the other drinks are.
Right.
Well, I was telling Amy a couple weeks back before we saw Crimes of Grindelwald, my new boss, they had something called the Boozy Cauldron, and it was like a pop-up.
That's right, yes. Bar, and I think I told Roxanne.
It was actually in the Magnolia Pancake House. The little, they have like a venue next door where you can have like weddings and stuff. That's where they did the pop-up, the boozy.
Damn it, I was already past there.
And she said it was really cool. She said it was about 4 different drinks or whatever.
Yeah, it was. It was just, it's a really cool thing, and I totally forgot. Like, Roxanne had asked me, and it was just like, it's kind of like a room, right, or whatever, and they fix you like drinks, but they name it,
Speaking of pop-ups, they're going to have that Pixar one, the mini golf.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I want to take...
It's going on right now. It's set
Arlene, we should take the kids to that.
It's set up downtown. It's really cool looking. Okay.
One of them is Polyjuice Potion. That's like a good one.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, because that's an actual name of something you can change. No, I mean, like I said, just all those things are great. Like I said, even where we know the characters, like Hedwig, Dobby, like the side characters, what's his name, Kreacher. The mean
man, that little jerk off.
Fucking,
the one that's serious.
Yeah, where his ears are like down or whatever. He doesn't look like Dobby or whatever. He's always
House of Black.
Is it
the House of Black. Yeah, Kreacher.
Away with you.
Yeah, see, he's a real douche or whatever.
I thought he was all talking shit.
But
I really liked a lot of the like the Fantastic Beast in the
Beast,
like Aragog and I really like the ones that take the carriage, but you can only see them if you witness somebody a death.
Thestrals, I believe is what they're called.
So like only Luna could see them, only Harry.
Because they had experienced death.
Yeah. What did she see around his head too? That he was like, how did you find me? And she's like, I saw the shit flying around your head, and he's all like, like looking at her, like, what the hell? Like, what the fuck she seeing?
Yeah, because they're supposed to not be real or whatever.
Yeah.
Her dad rides up.
But she does it because she has the glasses
those glasses.
on.
I want those glasses. Those glasses.
Yeah,
and they show like all the around Harry's head. I was like, oh shit.
Someone says, Arlene says, love you. I love y'all. Have a great night. And then she says, y'all. And then someone says, Dobby. Who's that? Is that you? Is that you, Holty? You talking about Dobby? I don't know, guys. For me, amazing franchise.
Where is it ranked on the franchise for you? Like, we've talked about like the Indiana Jones, the Star Wars, the Lord of the Rings.
Shit.
The Marvel.
You know what? I never finished the Indiana Jones. I need to finish.
Yeah.
The MCU.
It's hard, right? Because when we think about the MCU, as much as I love that, it's like.
But there's a lot of movies. We just said there's a lot of movies that we could have been like. I would have been fine. But it's all one,
right? You consider it a franchise.
Yeah, I know, but some of those you don't.
But how many of those do you actually go back to? And
you don't need Iron Man 2 and 3 to complete that story. It's
but if I had him on, he's gonna sit down and watch him. I'm more likely to put him down.
Yeah, not me.
I'm gonna get a lot done during Iron Man 2 and 3. I can tell you that.
He might be on his phone, but he'll be there.
Really? I couldn't do part 2.
What happens in part 2?
Part 2 is the one with Mickey Rourke, where
he's
and Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
And then part 3?
Part 3 is a big mystery. It's like a.
He's not even Iron Man that much in that movie.
He's not. It's more Tony Stark.
Yeah, he's in the garage with that kid, and the kid's helping him.
The Mandarin comes out. It's Guy Pearce. He's the Mandarin.
I really don't remember.
And then all the Iron Man suits show up.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember the second one.
They're not that.
But
they're not that great.
I feel like it's about it's a full circle thing. Because can you just have the Iron Man one?
Sure, the story will still progress. It's like you still will get to the Avengers and you'll still get to all the rest and it'll be fine.
What sucks though is that those movies did make money though.
Mm-hmm. So it was the sequel to the huge hit.
Yeah, but part 3 too. I was like, man, that one made $1 billion. I was like, man, that movie wasn't that great.
No, it really wasn't.
And see, that's the thing though. We just said these Harry Potter movies,
and I'll say this:
we can kind of see all of them. The Marvel universe is kind of like, we can do without this one. We can do without this one. Indiana Jones, I love the first 3. Not a big fan of the 4th one.
No, not a big fan of the 4th one at all.
The Lord of the Rings, I love the 3 movies.
The original 3, yeah, but you would want to include the Hobbits if we're going to talk about it in all. And then
then that one ranks low for me
because I haven't even seen it.
Wait a minute,
and I fell asleep.
No rush.
I fell asleep during the first part.
Yeah. So we'll really have to tell me hey, this week we're going to watch the Hobbits.
I've never fallen asleep during a movie at the theater.
Oh, no, I have.
I had a bunch, but it was after Sabrina was born. Ooh, man, that was hard.
That was hard.
That was
hard. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't, but that one, though, I did fall asleep. I was like, they had like a Snow White moment when they were all singing in the room. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? There's like dwarves and what's his name? What's Bilbo? Like they're all like all of a sudden they all just started singing like in his fucking house. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, I don't know, man. They don't appeal. The Hobbits are like the part of the Lord because I don't like that much. I kind of hate when they cut to that story a lot. I'm like, oh man, who gives a fuck, man?
And see, man, I would have really been big on Star Wars. It would just Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. I'm just like,
It still ranks up there for me though.
Yeah,
it's it might be number 1. Because Marvel is Marvel, it's probably still number 2. This is probably number 3. And I mean, amongst great franchises, we got to include Bond. I mean, that is.
Jeez, yeah, we're gonna do Bond. Yeah.
What about Twilight?
4 movies. Twilight.
4 movies.
Yeah, it's 4 movies. You got to throw Transformers in then. They got how many?
Okay, well, you can throw it in, but it's gonna be on the bottom.
What about Alien?
Man, yeah, but it's gonna be near the bottom too because
bad ones.
Part 3 is decent.
What about Halloween?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, there's so many bad movies.
I love all the franchises for what they all bring to the table. Why is my name not coming up?
I don't know, but I wish you would put your name on.
Yeah, tell us who you are.
I think it's Holt.
Type your name there, and then we will know your name. Announce yourself.
You know what? I love the Bond movies. Like, seriously, I do. It's just the Daniel Craig era is the one I really don't care for too much.
Chuck, you need to nut up and watch the Bonds.
Ooh.
All the Bonds. All of them. Yeah, okay.
No, really,
time,
you should. Because we ignored the Lazenby and the Dalton for so long, and then when I saw them, I was blown away by those 3 movies. I was like, wow.
Saying that. Yeah.
And the Craig ones, like I said, I'm just like, ugh. He's always wants to quit or retire. I'm like, golly, man, it's supposed to be like the fucking beginning of Bond, and you already want to fucking quit after the first movie? It's like, damn, dude.
And it is Holty Bear in the house saying that.
And that is a good one. Yeah, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is a good one.
The Lazenby one is a good one, yeah. I remember my dad talking about that one.
You probably will cry at the end.
My dad says this is the one where he gets married, correct?
Yes.
The Lazenby one.
Yeah, you probably would cry, like I said.
I would check it out, you know what I mean? I love Bond, so I'll watch my way through those.
It's him and Kojak. He's Blofeld.
Oh, nice. Yeah. There you go. Telly Savalas. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So I don't know. It ranks up there for me. I would say, remember, like I said, top 3.
Pixar? Movies as a franchise. Because supposedly there's
connect.
a theory that they all connect.
That's interesting.
I would say like Toy Story because there's 4 of those.
I mean, yeah. Then we talked about Star Trek. I mean, if you're
franchise
going that way, then
is.
it's like you've got like Terminator. Terminator has like 7.
Yeah, but that's a terrible.
Predator.
Again, it's only the first 2. Predator.
You know,
I like 2 of those movies.
I would say for me, like definitely. I don't know what order I would put them in though.
I mean, look at it like this. It's
Star
like
Wars
shit,
and
the Batman franchise.
Harry Potter.
They got like
for sure.
They made the Wizarding World at Universal before they even made Galaxy's End at Disney, you know, which is the Star Wars one. It was like a long time, should have been a long time coming, you know.
I don't know, John. I mean, man, Aliens is really, it's like only 2, unless you consider, where would you put the AVP? Would you put those?
I was talking to this about
there's Scream also. Scream?
With my coworker John. I was talking about this with him. He was saying, "Yeah, I really like AVP. You know, those 2." And I said, "Yeah, but those really wouldn't be considered canon because according to Prometheus, we don't get the first alien until the future." And all we've known.
That's right. You got to put Prometheus in
right.
Too.
And everything we've known, the alien from the Alien movies, has never been on Earth. It's only until AVP that we see it on Earth.
They're on Earth,
right? Which you would imagine that if they were here, or whatever. And again, those take place in like present time, and according to Prometheus, they're not created until the future, so they're kind of out of sequence.
And they also said, "What about Friday the 13th?" I mean, it's
so I guess
like horror.
Like, those are like horror. That's a horror genre, I think.
Oh, speaking of AA,
because like if you want to say like Halloween is like a big old multiverse.
But I think like Star Wars and like
because H2O ignores all of it except for H2O follows 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Then you had this new one that just follows part 1.
You know? We watched the new one not that long ago. The last one.
It's like each of them keep ignoring a certain part.
It's just the same movie, just like the same movie.
I don't know. Maybe, see, that's what Aaron kind of said about the John Wick ones. And see, me when I watch those, I'm like, I'm not really looking for plot. Like, I'm like, oh, did he kill people? Cool. Was it a good death?
Well, but still, it's all from the first one. That's why I keep saying that.
Let me borrow a scarf. It's getting kind of nippy.
Oh, you're kind of.
Oh, why do I got to get Slytherin?
Hey, look, it's the first one I could get.
That John Wick one is really just from the first one. It's just one big story.
It's still from the
first. It's still from the first movie.
All right.
I feel like Star Wars and the Wizarding World and like MCU, those are like a fantasy genre, like Roxanne said. So if you're gonna rate those for like 1 through 10 or whatever, you gotta have a genre. You know what I mean?
Because Terminator is a bad one too. Terminator's not a good one either.
Yeah,
I've seen them.
all the Terminators.
Like I gave Dark Fate. I was like, okay, Cameron's back. Linda Hamilton's back, and nope.
2 thumbs down, though.
That was still bad.
I still haven't seen that one.
It added just another fucking alternate universe. That's all that one did. So.
See, it's like they're trying to retcon all the stuff that like went bad with the movies that sucked. Let's see here. Holty Bear says,
I saw a post where someone compared Harry Potter franchise to the Star Wars franchise, and love the scarf.
Thank you. I did see that also. It was a comedian talking, and he actually says J.K. Rowling didn't create her own world or whatever. He's like, she created Star Wars, but with shitty lightsabers. She talks about how it's like a boy without a family, raised by his aunt and uncle, gets by because of his friends. Luke and Leia are Ron and Hermione. No, Luke and Leia are Han and Leia are Ron and Hermione. They get together. You know what I mean? He's taught by a wise old wizard, Dumbledore and Yoda.
Damn. All right. Well, fuck.
I was like, oh shit.
Oh, when you put it like that.
Pretty good. I think it even has something that says he's like how he's, taught that he's part of this, more bigger world or whatever by someone or whatever. So it's like kind of like Obi-Wan and Hagrid. Like he shows him like, hey, you're this. You're a wizard, Harry. So it's like
funny because you find out later on in Harry Potter that like his dad was a dick, and Vader was a dick for a little while.
See, thank you. He is a dick.
I don't care. I still love
James
it.
Potter. James Potter was a dick.
I hated that they made him be an asshole. I was like, for real? Like, we're talking about all, like, how his parents got murdered, and oh my god, he's the boy who lived, and you know what, we gotta get revenge on Voldemort. But then you're like, oh, his dad was a dick the whole time, and I'm like,
That's why I like when
then
Snape
he
tells
kinda
him, your
deserved
dad
it
was
then, I guess.
was a swine. Fuck your dad.
Fuck, man. Hey, what about how they make fucking Batman's dad a dick and like Joker, and then they make him
Oh man,
he's kind of a dick in the Batman too,
William
right?
fucking loved it when he punched him in the nose. He laughed like hard, like everybody was quiet. He fucking started laughing hard.
And I gotta say that this one, this new the Batman, they kind of make Thomas Wayne a little bit like
what's
shady too.
Yeah, with Carmine.
Yeah, like I'm like, damn, Thomas Wayne, you really fucked up, man. I'm like,
yeah, where's the Batman? Where's the Christopher Nolan?
yeah, I know, man. Why do we fall so we can get back up? Yeah, let's see.
The napkin J.K. Rowling wrote on just said Star Wars reboot.
Fuck.
Damn, man, there you have it right there. Well, I'll tell you this: she did a better job than JJ.
Yeah,
I was like,
my approval
wow.
rating for JJ is going down bad.
Sorry, JJ Abrams, you fucked up with that new trilogy. So Harry Potter pretty up there for me, man. I love it. I would love to
I'd
visit
say
that
top
original
3.
world. Yeah, I would say top 3 for sure.
Yeah, top 3.
I would have put it top 5, but then when you said Lord of the Rings, you have to include the Hobbits. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'll watch like 3 Harry Potter movies probably before I watch Lord of the Rings, and I do like Lord of the Rings, but I really got to be in the mood for those movies.
I think that's why he hasn't watched The Hobbit.
Two Towers is great.
Oh no, that's most fire. That's my favorite one out of them, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so
hit me up, Voldemort.
Avada on the beer right there. As Double A kills it. I don't know, guys. Anything else we want to bring up, talk about regarding the amazing legacy?
Do you think they should come back to
Yes.
do at least one movie where they're, because apparently we find out, according to her, Harry and Ron become Aurors.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't say what Hermione does, which kind of sucks. I would think she would become something really good too.
It would be cool if she became a teacher. She could be an amazing
maybe
teacher.
the caretaker of
well, how about headmaster?
Headmaster, yeah, that's what I meant.
That would be nice.
Yeah, she would be amazing as the headmaster.
Yeah, because they don't say who becomes headmaster after Dumbledore dies, do they?
No.
Well, it's Snape at first.
Yeah, but he dies.
And he dies.
And then
it's McGonagall? I think it's McGonagall.
Minerva?
Minerva McGonagall. We didn't hardly talk about her. Great character, though.
Yeah, I love how she was a cat, right?
Lots
on
of
the
great
desk.
Yes, she was a cat.
That's a great part too, right? With Hermione.
Yeah.
When she gets the
cat.
hairs.
Yeah.
When it's the cat hairs.
Classic.
That was a good part.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yes, I think it's unfair that, unfortunately, they let these movies be the determining factors on whether there would be more Harry Potter. But I did hear that there is an HBO Max show in development. Oh. Now, I don't know what it's going to track or trace or whatever, but
I don't think that they're ever going to come back to do it.
No.
It would suck. I mean, just one movie, I think, would be helpful.
And there's also a game on the cusp of coming out called Hogwarts Legacy, where you kind of like, number one, you build your own character.
Oh, isn't that for the PS5?
I think it's for the PS5, yeah. Feel free to buy it, and then you can play it on my successful venture for a PS5
how did that go?
If you saw our TikTok, you know I did not do a follow video, but it is now in my possession. So yeah, it was challenging to say the least.
And now he has financial debt.
And now I have financial debt. So not always the smartest idea. Let's see. Holty Bear says Hermione would be the Minister of Magic. I will like that too for her. That's great.
That would be good.
She'd be a fantastic Minister of Magic. But anyway, the game Hogwarts Legacy. So basically, Double A, like find out you're a wizard or whatever, and I guess you create your own looking character. But then you go to Hogwarts, you get sorted, and then you gotta like go through different things, I guess, throughout the wizarding world of Harry Potter. You can find like the room of requirement. You know what I mean? Things
That's
like
awesome.
The mirror of Erised.
Yeah.
The room. It's gonna be one of those big games where it's like, you get to encompass in the world. You can go to like Honeydukes and go to, Hogsmeade and stuff. So I'm pretty badass,
I would love to. I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah,
buy it on a discounted price.
$8
games.
Wait till you get you a $5 coupon at GameStop and get it.
I'll use your $5 coupon.
There you go. But yeah, I think they should come back. What do you think? You think you'd like to see more Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Is there a specific version you want to see? That story, the future story?
Yeah, just that. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe bring in some dark wizard, not like a Voldemort, but a dark wizard that's coming up and show them how they handle that kind of
Like
situation.
I said, George plummets into darkness.
No, not George.
Okay. Y'all missed. I mean, some of y'all missed that earlier version.
George is there. He's sitting in the room of requirement. And he's like slipping into darkness.
Damn,
Oh,
man, Rick and me. God,
Damn. And he's like, "Fuck you, Harry! You killed my brother."
He's all got fucking
with no ear,
ginger,
with one
ginger
ear.
emo haircut.
Damn. What about you, sis? More Harry Potter for you?
Yeah, I'm always up for more Harry Potter.
What would you do? Do you want to continue the Fantastic Beasts story? More Dumbledore?
How much more can he get into it? Like, is there still room left enough to do more Dumbledore before it gets to?
I think so, because you can have that big battle with Grindelwald. You can show that. You can also
How much is after that? I mean, after that big
I
battle.
actually would like. I would like a Dumbledore and Grindelwald story when they were younger.
That would be something. You could definitely do that too.
To see like how they met at Hogwarts and what they became together and what they learned.
It's an interesting turn.
Like,
turn.
you know,
Show that early story, that early.
Because you know that they have the. Right, they have that in the second one.
What?
They have the blood pact.
Yeah, there was a
talk about
pact.
the blood
Yeah,
pact,
so you want to kind of see like, okay, well, what's going on in that time that they make the blood pact? Because they
Right.
just show it
Right.
that they did it, like, but it's like, what was going on?
There's a lot of implications in there where they don't really, you're kind of like, what is this and
Your
what is
mind
that?
is left to wonder.
Damn.
So,
Here's one for you. Sam, Harry should turn bad, and it's up to Ron and Hermione to bring him back from the dark side.
damn,
Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
interesting. It sounds like that Dark Empire story too.
It
from
does.
Star Wars.
Yeah, with Luke.
So, I think you missed mine, Friday Nighter, Holty Bear, where I said that it's actually George who turns to darkness because he resents Harry for having caused his brother's death, only for Ron to step in between them and say,
He's slipping into darkness.
"Yeah, you can't go after my brother." And then you've got Ginny also being like, "You got to allow Harry to take him down before he hurts people."
And then Fred and
a house
George.
divided.
So wait, who's alive still, Fred or George?
I think it's George that lived. Fred died, I think.
Then he tells Ron, like, join me if you want to.
Oh, now there you go. See, now you're in on it. There you go. Yeah. Together we can rule the wizarding world as brothers. So...
Yeah, I hear you, but Harry's the chosen one.
Well,
okay.
I mean, once his destiny is fulfilled, are you still the chosen
And
one?
Luke's the chosen one.
Once his destiny is fulfilled, though, actually, we find out Ray is the chosen one.
Man, Palpatine. Ray Palpatine.
Yeah, if they do a show, I think you can show a lot of aspects. Like you can show the American Wizarding
I
School.
wanted her to be Luke's daughter.
You can show Durmstrang.
Sorry.
Oh. She makes herself, so Ray Skywalker. We're like, that's not how last names work.
She's like, it is today.
You just do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
well, Han didn't have a last name, remember?
Solo. Yeah, that's true, yeah.
He was like, Solo.
That's true.
Han Solo.
Alright, there you go. I was like, shit.
Vito from The Godfather? Vito Corleone.
Vito Corleone. Vito Corleone.
I never seen those either.
You need to see
Now that.
The first two, you need to see those.
That I'll sit down and watch it, part 1 and 2.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were talking about that at work this
That's
week. Actually, I was
awesome.
like, damn, those are solid.
You let me know, I'll bring the popcorn.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, there's definitely room for more Harry Potter. Continue to just grow that.
I mean, that's a franchise again that you let someone just fucking keep doing it.
I mean, shit, they show us Harry's kids. Why don't we see their story? They're going to go to Hogwarts. Like, what's it like to go to Hogwarts without, like, having a dark wizard after you?
Check this out. Somebody said, I want to see a series of Sirius Black's family.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I like that too. Yeah.
Because, like, their family tree comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the mom fucking erases his.
Yeah, their family tree comes up.
Who were you talking about? How the mom was? Oh, Moon Knight.
and the Lestrange family tree comes up too. So that's
they
that
come.
would be
well,
cool
you saw, in the fantasy
to kind
they
of
come up.
see
Whatever.
like those backgrounds on those.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, for sure.
Harry, I mean, James had to take in Sirius.
Yeah. Yeah, what
his
is
fucking family were dicks.
Right.
It's like the Potters. They took me in.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely an agreement that we want like more Harry Potter.
Why not?
I mean, keep
Right?
it going. It's one of the great iconic.
Shit, Marvel's doing it. Star Wars is doing it. Bring on some series. Bring on the Black family
Yeah.
What were we saying earlier, Double A? We were like, yeah, man, it's like, you know,
Show
right-
how Bellatrix fucking turned into the nutball she is.
Yeah,
But-
give it a break, maybe like they did with Star Wars. Then you bring it back, and it's like, and look at what they're doing with these Disney Plus shows, right? Things like Marvel, the WandaVision, with Hawkeye, with
You're
Loki.
getting all these characters that you know we didn't care about. We didn't care about Wanda. We didn't care really. What we have wanted like Loki. What we have thought Loki is like a series that we would have thought that you know, like I want to see a Loki series.
Yeah, love Tom Hiddleston, but that wouldn't have been
I
what.
like the Loki series though.
But you know,
Yeah,
for us
we-
being fans,
we
we're
love them
thinking
all.
like
Yeah.
X-Men. We're thinking Fantastic
Right.
Four.
Oh,
yeah,
We're
yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
you know,
Bigger.
not Loki.
Yeah, there's a lot of other shit you could have gave us or whatever. Like
You know.
shit, a lot of us talk about we want to see that Steve Rogers story where he goes back and returns the stones. It's like,
Yeah.
well, let's
Like,
see that
I was
fucking
like-
story. You
Like
know?
I was,
When he lives his life.
it was
Mm-hmm.
really hard for me to like even put on episode 1 of Falcon and Winter Soldier. But then when
Yeah.
I did, I started getting into
Right.
it. You know,
Right.
I was
I
like,
didn't watch that. I didn't get to finish that one.
It's good. It's good.
I don't think I watched.
They're all good, you know what I mean? But you know, if you had to rank them amongst themselves, you're like, oh, they could be, Zemo dancing, you know. So, but if you gotta like rank them against each other, you're like, oh, well, some of them are not as good as the others. You know?
But they're interesting shows that were like Moon Knight. Who would have fucking thought we'd ever be watching Moon Knight right now?
I'm not watching that one, but
Yeah.
CM and my dad and Kello.
Well, your dad's like really into the Egyptian stuff, right?
Oh, Dad loves it, yeah. So he's,
and
like,
so
all
it's
into it,
covered.
yeah.
Yeah, it's covered with the Egyptian.
Even
shit.
though he has to rewatch every time because I'm like, what, are you watching it or are you on your phone?
Yeah.
Or he's like asleep and I'm like, what are you doing?
But him too, you know, like he's all in because he's like, oh, it's Marvel, like it's gonna be good. It's gonna at
Yeah.
least have good action or something like that. You know, I mean, he
Yeah.
can trust in it for that, which is true. You know, there's gonna be action parts that you're gonna enjoy.
Yeah, like Ethan Hawke.
Oh yeah, he's killing it. Yeah, especially in these last two episodes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like, unless you guys have any other thoughts on Harry Potter,
Just that I'm always be a diehard fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got a tattoo to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
Several items.
Mm-hmm.
I would love more wands. I know you had asked me when we were watching the movies.
What would be the next one?
Yeah,
you
like
got?
what other ones? I
What
would
would
love
it
to
be?
have more other. I know I said I wanted the elder one for sure.
That's kind of
Ooh.
like the other one.
Yeah.
Is a badass one. Yeah.
So, and then
I kind of agreed. I was like, that'd be a
Yeah.
sweet one to buy
Yeah.
on my own. Because you got to admit, this was a gift from you to her, so she hasn't bought her own one. And this one was like an accident, happy accident
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah,
so I had to
borrow,
buy
yeah.
my own. You know, so I definitely like. You know, it's like, oh, if I were going to purchase one, which one would I purchase? You know, and
Yeah.
that whole story is great. You know, the Elder Wand
that's
story.
a really cool story.
Harry's would be cool too. I think your brother has one that lights up. The tip lights up.
That's right. He does have one.
Oh,
You-
yeah.
I think you could. I think is it voice activated? Like you say Lumos.
I
and
don't
it lights up?
remember, but I
If
know.
that's, I want that too.
I know
man.
they show one on Bang Bang Theory where they turn the channel with it.
Oh, nice.
I would probably love Harry's too because you know it's Harry Potter.
Dumbledore's one? Dumbledore's one.
Well, he has the elder
Yeah.
one.
Well, in the
Well, he has
movie,
the-
Oh, that's right.
but in the Fantastic Beasts, he has a different one, and that,
Yeah.
it does look badass. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
have
I don't
my own
remember
his.
what it looks like though.
You got to see the pictures of it, but it looks fucking cool. It's like black, and like the handle looks like it's intricate. Like it looks pretty sweet.
Okay.
His would be cool.
It's like we always talk about like the Star Wars handles, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I think Luna's looks pretty cool too. I probably wouldn't mind having hers.
I wonder what like Snape's. I wouldn't see what Snape's look like.
Oh,
I'm sure it's
yeah.
pretty badass. You know, so. But yeah, I would definitely bring on the wands.
Are we yelling out for our Hogwarts houses?
Feel free. I think we kind of went around. I actually sorted myself in the Pottermore website. Again, go to Pottermore. I think it's
it was
.com and sort
Gryffindor.
yourself.
I think I was Gryffindor, but I don't remember. It was either Gryffindor or Hufflepuff. I think I
Yeah.
was too.
Well, you got to do it. I want to hear what your
All right.
official one is. of the Pottermore.
Hufflepuff.
But yeah, I'm a
Gryffindor.
Hufflepuff. So yeah, there you go. Right on, John. You a Hufflepuff? I would totally see you as a Gryffindor. You're a Leo and likes the lion. So
John, if that is you and you're still on, what do you think of those Submariner issues?
there you go. There you go on the Submariner issues. But yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm okay with being a noble Hufflepuff. You know what I mean? They were good. So,
I would highly recommend Harry Potter world to anyone.
And what is this again? Pottermore?
Pottermore. Yeah,
Pottermore.
apparently it's like one of the officially recognized whatever.
I'm
But
not
yeah,
putting it
you
for-
go and you put your name and stuff like that and
Okay.
your email, and then of course then they ask you several questions.
I might
and
do it
then
here
you-
since my wife's not home with me.
Yeah, and then you get sorted into there.
And she'll be like, "How dare you!"
They were awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Nice. Yeah, John. I didn't know you did. You get sorted into Hufflepuff, John? Or are you just choosing?
Are you an Atlantean or Hufflepuff?
There you go. You got to be one or the other on that one. I don't know, guys.
They were fun. They were fun movies.
They're fantastic.
7 really good movies. You know, just really fun movies.
Or
really,
8. We say 8
or whatever it is.
8 really great movies, and then I liked all 3 of the Fantastic Beasts. You know what I mean? Not as much, of course.
I like Crimes of Grindelwald. I'll probably like the Dumbledore movie. I still didn't like that first one.
I would love to hear what you think about.
It gives you the full circle, so you're like, oh, okay, now.
Yeah, it's one of those scenarios.
And it'll be good after that.
Like I said, to me, I never thought about buying the other 2 individually, but when a set comes out, I'll definitely pick up a set. You know,
fun movies, good actors, good characters. It was a cool world while it was on.
A rare time where we had the world of the books was built out well, and although of course the movies will never have as much as the books detail wise, but they did a fantastic job of keeping in tune with the, as you always say, the heart of it is there, the spirit of it is there for sure.
And it was fun because I me and my wife saw the last 3 ones in the theater together, so that was cool. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay, CM's yawning.
All right, that's my first one. All right,
time to go. That's your second one.
She really became a nerd when she got with me. So.
Is your daughter into it?
You know what? No.
Yeah.
No.
It's not.
Sabrina.
Yeah. She likes the Pixar's.
Yeah. I would love to read the books to.
Hey, she likes Nightmare Before Christmas. That's all that counts.
Yeah, I would love to read the books to my nephew and see if I start out. At the early books, could he get into it, But I don't know that he would sit through me reading, but...
Maybe, is there an audiobook with maybe one of them reading? Because, she really...
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Sabrina really wants to hear the Neil Gaiman where he actually...
Where it's him reading.
Reads Coraline.
Oh, cool.
Because that's her favorite story right now. It's Coraline.
Nice.
And I was like,
shit, I want to hear that too.
Shit, I'm almost I'm waiting for her to get older so I can I was like, if you like that one, you're gonna like the Sandman series.
Yeah, yeah, very cool stuff. That's getting deep,
she got me super excited when she was like, I like Neil Gaiman a lot. I was like, yes, yes,
nice.
It's too bad he doesn't do signings anymore.
I know. Damn. Did he say why?
There was a really cool documentary about it. You should kind of try to figure it out.
Okay.
But after each signing, because I guess he wouldn't charge, people are bringing him stacks, and so every time he would be icing his hand.
Oh,
and it was just too much. It was too long. There was, people were just bringing stacks of shit for him to sign, and he was signing. And
I would have been like, hey, just 2 items per person,
right? I don't know why they don't really limit 3 of them at least.
Yeah,
and just boom.
Interesting. Holty Bear says he's a Gryffindor. He says I'm not smart enough to be in any of the other houses.
What? Yes, you are, Holt.
He says the Potter books are awesome, and it's like you're getting your
Powers of deleted scenes. That's what I was saying with the books.
Absolutely.
It's like you're kind of reading the deleted scenes.
Like if you always... Part of the reason why I enjoyed them, too, is because I was like, man, I want more while I was waiting for the next movie to come out. And then I was like, oh, I'm getting so much more. And, of course, the movies would be missing some things where I was like, it doesn't bother me.
And you can't fit them in. I mean, it's just impossible to fit in a whole book. It has been adapted twice, and you still can't get the full book into the movies. It's
exactly.
It's hard.
It's a lot. It's a lot of detail.
It has to be like a 7-part series or an 8-part series to probably get that.
Or like one of these Marvel limited series they call it, right? Where you get 6 episodes.
You get an hour. For 10 episodes. You could probably fit it that way.
As you always say, it's like when we watch these shows, we're getting a 5-hour movie, essentially, that we're just getting it broken up. And that. But it is more time to put things like that in. Like the Harry Potter world is something that would largely benefit from that. If they ever did a reboot and they ever recast Harry and all that, I would not suggest they do movies. I would be like, do a show. Do a show.
It feels like you have more room to do it, right?
Yeah, you'll get at least, 8 seasons out of it or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like
easy.
Easy. I mean, especially if you're going back and forth and telling history and young character then becoming the older character, there's so much there, So absolutely. Well, I have nothing more I think to add regarding Harry Potter except that I absolutely love the franchise. Would love to see more from Jude Law, from all the people that are around it. I would love to see Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint and Emma Watson come back in some capacity as, their adult jobs, whatever it may be. I think it would be great, show Harry's kids, show more of Hogwarts, show, Ginny, all of that, I think there's room for all of that in some type of, like I said, series or, where make it easy for them where they only have to come shoot one day and
I'm thinking series is the way to go now, honestly. We got how many episodes of Moon Knight? 6? That's like 3 2-hour movies.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
It's good. It's good stuff. Same with the Mandalorian and Boba Fett.
Oh, man, yeah, the Mandalorian feels like you're watching a whole movie, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
What are you saying, Jess?
That was,
he goes, it's like from the book, Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire? Dumbledore said calmly.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Not like in the movie where he's like,
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, what was he on, man?
Yeah, I was like,
man.
you drinking it, right?
I know, I was like, you did the whole, you did the spell. Like, do you think that he could...
I was like, that was a very unlikable version of the right there. But, well, Cicely, you have anything else to add to the Harry Potter thoughts, mythos?
No, I mean, just that I love Harry Potter, and my love for Harry Potter will continue to grow, and I hope that I can pass that love on to my baby.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Everyone, if you get a chance. And again, maybe when they get a little bit older, the kiddos will be more like, all right, good. We want to see what it's all about. I think you need sometimes that one movie to hook you in, and then
because she said she saw it at her cousin Jade's house, and she was like, I wasted like 2 hours of my life. I was like, damn, okay.
On Harry Potter, the first one.
Whatever one they were watching. I was like, damn,
okay.
all right.
Yeah, I was like, no, you I don't know. It depends. Sometimes, like I said, when you get older, your mindset changes, and you're like, oh, okay, this is something interesting. But again, I like these two. Highly recommend it. Harry Potter, fantastic wizarding world that's been built. I mean, I don't think it's like a can't miss. So unless there's nothing else, I'll go ahead and outro us, guys. There's something that we like to say at the end of every show, and that is to remind you all that if there's something that you want to do, something that you hope to accomplish, that you wish to do. I don't know if Harry wished or hoped to be a wizard, but he wished for more in his life, and it came true. Definitely, he was one to, what do we do, AA? Seize the day. And in order to do that, in order to be a wizard and to be great and brave and a courageous Gryffindor, you've got to do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes. So as we say here on Just Another Friday Night, every night, seize the day and do whatever it takes. For myself, CM Chuck, and...
AA.
And of course,
Untamable Amy.
This has been Just Another Friday Night. You all have a safe Friday night. Don't cast any spells that we wouldn't cast. And wait, last comment here. We guys say, great show, guys. Have a great night. Carpe diem. Seize the day exactly, guys.
It's the last Friday of April.
That's right. And we'll see you guys next week for Moon Knight. All right, let me Averticadabra y'all out of here. Averticadabra.